What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
5:08. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. There's fog. Roads are wet. Allows following distance. We do have delays on the northbound tri-state from I-80 to the 163rd Street Toll Plaza. The open road tolling lane should be reopening. They've been closed for overnight work. Also have roadwork delays on northbound I-55, Veterans Parkway to Lamont Road. Ramps at County Line have reopened after overnight work. There's a rollover crash in Willow Springs, 95th and Archer. Elsewhere, things are fairly quiet. Traffic is a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. At Westin Hotels and Resorts, they offer running gear to their guests. Why? It's not to help you race to catch your flight. You can pack less and work out more while on the road because they know what a runaround travel can be. Westin Workout Gear Lending. Westin, let's rise. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. With the very latest this morning, our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy, high 60. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 44. Tomorrow, sun and some clouds, high 64. At night, it will be clear to partly cloudy with a low 45. A blend of sun and clouds Saturday, high 73. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 50 at O'Hare, 47 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Continuous news coverage, 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Thanks to Carlos over at the Dunkin' Donuts in Elston and where? again?
Elston and Addison.
I don't go that far north. It's frightening up there. But Elston and Addison. Yeah, thanks, Carlos, for the coffee. Appreciate that.
And he included a donut, but I don't know if I should give it to you. And let me tell you why. Because we've got 2 days into the Dominican. So if you want to really slim down in the next 2 days, you can do the 2-day diet where you take apple cider vinegar. And you can throw in a little baking soda too now. That's the new craze.
No.
No? Did you take it this morning?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through this bottle and then we'll see. But I mean, it's not.
Did you step on the scale yet though?
No.
Why not?
No. I don't care that. You care about it a lot more than I do. I told you I'm just gonna be a fat guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna be like a 400-pound
You're just
fat guy.
gonna own it?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Well, what about your bikini?
Look how it's worked out for Chris Christie.
That lap band surgery, he needs to get his money back, huh? Whew.
Okay, so it's getting
on?
fun. I mean, the Comey thing's getting fun. Here's the interesting thing about Comey a day after the firestorm. Can you find somebody that actually defends his performance?
Huh.
Yeah, he's just a political football. That's all he is, right? I mean, I have yet to hear a Republican or Democrat, or even anybody in the legal community, even people that respect him, defend his performance. And isn't that how we're supposed to evaluate people? Like, I don't know, 8 years in, based on the performance, how well they do their job. I know that we don't use such performance indicators in Illinois.
No.
We're still...
That's all clout and who you know.
Yeah, we're still giving Mike Madigan, the longest-serving House Speaker in the history of our country at the state level. We're still, he's still on his 35-year probationary period. We haven't made a decision on him yet. So I get that. I get in Illinois that performance doesn't matter. It's reflected in our elected officials, even many of our appointed officials. I totally get that. So this is kind of an outlier. This state is a black swan when it comes to job performance. We don't care about job performance in government. I got it. But I'm saying, generally speaking, in the rest of the country, I think people do tend to use the common sense analysis of how well somebody does their job. And see, when you don't do that, when you are just take a political position and you move all around based on the politics of the moment, whatever is most expedient in the moment, rather than starting from a base of some standard and evaluating people by that standard, you know what happens?
What happens?
You turn into No Justice, No Peace Maxine Waters, and you embarrass yourself.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Let's hear from the intellectual and moral leader of the 21st century Democrat Party, Maxine Waters. Here she is.
Can you tell us anything about the discussion in the group?
No, it's classified and we can't tell you anything. All I can tell you is the FBI director has no credibility.
That was Congresswoman Maxine Waters criticizing now former FBI Director James Comey after a closed briefing on Russia's interference in the U.S. election. It took place just 1 week before the president took office here at the White House. For more, I want to bring in the Congresswoman herself, Maxine Waters, who is joining me now. Congresswoman, we appreciate your time. You obviously have been very critical of James Comey in the past. You said that he had no credibility. I assume that you support the president's decision then to fire his FBI director.
Wait for it.
No, I do not necessarily support the president's decision. If the president had not gone all over the country praising him about the way he handled Hillary and the emails, if the president said he had confidence in him, if the president had not said he was a part of his team.
But Congresswoman, I understand that in the past he was praising him, but if you said that FBI Director James Comey had no credibility, wouldn't you support the fact that the president, then candidate Trump, now President Trump, made the decision to get rid of him?
No, not necessarily. And let me tell you why. You have an investigation going on where the president is implicated. And this is a serious investigation. I've been trying to get people to focus on this connection with the Kremlin and with Putin. I have a resolution that I introduced in February. I think there's enough there that we know about the Kremlin and about Putin to be concerned about whether or not there was collusion.
So to be clear, you think,
and I believe that they should have to connect the dots and get the facts, because I think it will lead to the impeachment of this president.
I'll tell you what.
Wow.
I'd like to cede my time to No Justice, No Peace Maxine. She can talk all she wants. Please continue. The floor is yours.
He should be fired. No, I didn't say that. I mean, she is a hot mess.
She said it. I just don't necessarily believe it. He has no credibility. So
if you were charged, if he had no credibility, wouldn't you fire him?
You would think that you would say, well, this person needs to be relieved of their duty. Not so fast.
Oh, no.
No, because Trump did it, so it's bad. What if Hillary had done it, you may ask? What would Maxine Waters
that's a great follow-up question.
think then?
If she had won the White House, I believe that given what he did to her and what he tried to do, she should have fired him, yes.
So she should have fired him, but he shouldn't have fired him. This is why I'm confused.
No, you're not confused. If the president is implicated in an investigation, the president of the United States, who has a history of firing people who get close to, him and his allies, like Flynn and like Miss Yates, he will fire them if he believes somehow they're getting too close to him in these investigations. And so, no, I believe that the President of the United States should not have done this in the middle of an investigation.
Follow the logic with Maxine Waters. Gather the kids around.
Oh, that's him. I mean, does she maybe have the early stages of dementia?
No, she's always been like this. I mean, remember, my moniker for her, No Justice, No Peace Maxine, stems from her clarion call during the L.A. riots 25 years ago.
Oh.
She was the congresswoman leading the No Justice, No Peace looting and rioting in the streets of L.A. So no. This is who she is, and this is why she has ascended to be the intellectual leader of the Democrat Party. And it's really something to behold, isn't it?
Oh, my God. 312-642-5600, our turnkey.pro answer line. CNN this morning is reporting that the reasons why FBI director was fired, he never gave his loyalty to Trump. That's what Jake Tapper had said, and that the FBI investigation was accelerating and that Comey had asked for more resources a week before the firing.
Yeah, here's the problem with that story that came out yesterday, the Washington Post, New York Times, that he requests additional money, trying to juxtapose these two things. Department of Justice spokesman Isker Flores, the story is totally false.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody better get Tapper on the line and tell him that before he embarrasses himself.
Well,
anymore.
you would think that you would at least inquire so you'd get a response from Justice.
Well, he said it was from 2 inside sources.
Well, the Department of Justice spokesman is saying it's totally false. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, you know what? To take the air out of the Democrats, or if you want to even call them liberal idiots, just say the investigation is still going on. And I hope that guy on his hearing today that you mentioned earlier in the show, the investigation is going on. Comey was not sifting through papers or reading reports or doing anything to aid that investigation. In fact, he was probably interfering with it. So the investigation is still going on. And you know what? They have no argument at all, and they have no standards. And it's just they just embarrassed the whole country and the world. Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call, Ed. Here's the thing, too, by the way. Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General who penned the memo we discussed yesterday detailing the basis for Comey's termination, made the additional point that several former Deputy Attorneys General and Attorneys General were also critical of Comey's behavior. Eric Holder, who served as Deputy Attorney General under President Clinton and Attorney General under President Obama, said that the director's decision on the conclusion of the Clinton investigation was, quote, incorrect. It violated longstanding Justice Department policies and traditions, and it ran counter to guidance that I put in place 4 years ago, laying out the proper way to conduct investigations during an election season. That's Eric Holder on Jim Comey, the press conference last July, and the reference that Rosenstein made in his termination to that egregious breach of etiquette and protocol that Comey made, and that at least was part of the reason that he was dismissed.
You're fired. 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 You're fired.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, your phone calls on the real reason behind the firing of James Comey. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Today, rather cloudy, a little bit warmer than yesterday, a high of 61 degrees. And then tomorrow, sun and some clouds, a high of 64. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Northbound Tri-State. Got delays from I-80 to the 163rd Street Toll Plaza. There's some overnight work late in clearing there. The open road tolling lanes were closed during the overnight hours. They've yet to reopen. And this is causing a backup on eastbound I-80. It's stop and go from Kedzie to the Tri-State. And of course, the ramp to northbound 294 is backed up. Willow Springs had a rollover crash at 95th at Archer near Bullfrog Lake. Elsewhere, traffic's getting a little heavy on inbound I-57 at the Bishop Ford, but otherwise we're okay. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-617-4432. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-617-4432. That's 1-800-617-4432. 1-800-617-4432.
The website, upstream-ideas.com. Go there, sign up today for premium content that complements what we do on this show. Long-form interviews and our Against the Current series this week featuring CEO of the Illinois Policy Institute, John Tillman, talking about how we advance the economic liberty policy agenda. We've got Follow the Logic, Man on the Street interviews this week, asking people about CPS funding against the backdrop of CPS trying to stick up the state for another $600 million. It's my 60 Seconds of Sanity, Dollars and Cents commentaries, 2-minute warnings about bad actors in public office, as well as podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state of Illinois politics and policy. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Amy, last night, it's fun, the late-night comedians all left and having a field day with the Trump administration, aren't they? Well, here's what happened when Stephen Colbert announced to his audience that Jim Comey had been fired. You got to be careful when you have an audience that's essentially a daycare center. You got to spoon feed them. You don't spoon feed them, they don't follow along.
Huge story that broke just minutes ago, like less than 10 minutes ago. FBI Director James Comey has just been fired by Donald Trump. Wow. Huge Donald Trump fans here tonight. That shows no gratitude at all. Man. I mean, did Trump forget about the Hillary emails that Comey talked about? I mean, thanks for the presidency, Jimmy. Now don't let the door hit you where the Electoral College split you. I'm shocked. My heart is thumping. My pulse is racing. He fired the FBI director who has said under oath that he's investigating the Trump campaign's ties with Russia.
Yeah. That's a late-night comedian, Stephen Colbert.
Wow, it wasn't. I don't think he got the reaction he wanted.
The applause. Oh, no. Oh, wait. We're
what are we
not
supposed to
applaud.
I know a lot of
Isn't that brilliant?
liberals who are happy James Comey was fired because they didn't like the way he treated Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to be. Right now, you can't be happy. So he had to instruct his audience accordingly.
What to do. But I love one reporter confronted President Trump himself, and he just said it real simple. It's kind of like he does on his TV show.
Because he wasn't doing a good job, very simply. He was not doing a good job.
Did it affect your meeting with the Russians today?
Excuse me?
Did it affect your meeting with the Russians today?
Will the new FBI director be in charge of the Russia investigation?
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Did it affect your meeting with the Russians today? Well, here's Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov's response to the Comey firing.
Does the Comey firing cast a shadow over your talk, gentlemen?
Was he fired?
The U.S. supports yes.
You are kidding. You are kidding.
I appreciate. I'm not a fan
That
of.
is awesome.
Not a fan of the Putin regime because I don't
Yeah.
like dictators. Okay.
You don't? God, I had you pegged wrong all these years.
But I do like people in a moment in a silo that have a little fun with the PC-addled DC press corps like Lavrov did. Oh, really? Was he fired? I mean, that's the sarcasm. There's a little bit of translation issue, but nevertheless, I appreciate that. Now,
yes, sir.
It's also worth noting. Well, I guess let's here. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's quickly take
Yeah, we're always here for you. 312-642-5600.
Mark on the South Side. You're in Chicago this morning. We only have 2 days left in the show because then Wolf and Sean Thompson are in next week, and then our show's over.
Sean Thompson, that's his name?
Yeah, Sean from Elmwood Park. Mark, yes. I wanted to give his
I don't
last
even
name
know
so
his
people
name.
can track him.
Okay.
Send the emails to him. Mark on the South Side.
Good morning.
Morning.
The Democratic narrative is that the president, by firing Comey, interfered with the Russian investigation. But in the last 2 days, it's enhanced it, has it not?
It's enhanced the investigation. How?
Well, to the point now that they're calling for a special prosecutor, and it's more in the limelight now than it was 2 days ago. Is what I'm getting
well,
at.
yeah, that's certainly. Yeah, thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, that's certainly true. That it is front and center now, and it's grist for the mill for the Democrats and the press agents for the Democrats and the D.C. press corps to put this back on the front burner and obsess about it, which is what they really want to do. So you're right about that. Now, one other note here. Jim Comey wrote a goodbye letter.
Oh, is this when we play the sad music behind it?
Well, we've got, a lot of people have the transcript of his letter. We actually have Jim Comey. He made a special audio recording.
Oh, he did?
For us. So this is exclusive to Chicago's Morning Answer. Jim Comey saying goodbye to the American people.
I can't believe how fast things move on the outside. I saw an automobile once when I was a kid, but now they're everywhere. The world went and got itself in a big damn hurry. Sometimes after work, I go to the park and feed the birds. I keep thinking Jake might just show up and say hello, but he never does. I hope wherever he is, he's doing okay and making new friends.
Jim Comey ate a bird.
I have trouble sleeping at night. I have bad dreams like I'm falling. I wake up scared. Sometimes it takes me a while to remember where I am. I don't like it here. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I've decided not to stay. I doubt they'll kick up any fuss. Not for an old crook like me.
And then he etched his name. Comey was here into the Department of Justice. Institution man, Jim Comey. Should have died on the inside.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have zero tolerance. While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens to our customers. There's been a record number of businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Betsy DeVos tries to deliver a commencement speech. Why was she there, and should she have been there? Coming up.
And will Jim Comey end up in Zihuatanejo?
But first, let's go to the newsroom. Good morning, Mike Scott.
Good morning, everyone. 49 degrees, cloudy skies. Little fog in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. Senate Intelligence Committee subpoenaing former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn for documents related to the panel's investigation into Russian election meddling.
I don't think it impedes us. I think it challenges us to figure out who to work with on deconfliction. It challenges us on who in the short term understands the commitments that the director had with the vice chair and myself for committee access.
Senator Richard Burr, the Republican chairman, Republican congressman from Alabama, saying this morning President Trump should pick a new FBI director that both parties will accept. Otherwise, he could be open to an independent investigator.
The president has to go overboard in appointing someone as the new FBI director that the Democrats are comfortable with so that we can put this issue behind us. And failing that, we need to have this matter resolved by somebody who is impartial, and that's where Congress may have to step in to appoint a special investigator.
Representative Mo Brooks. Penn State's president says the fraternity involved in a deadly hazing accident will never be allowed back on campus. 18 members of the Beta Theta Pi fraternity have been charged in the February incident. The manslaughter trial of Oklahoma police officer Betty Shelby continues. Shelby is accused of shooting and killing Terrence Crutcher an African-American man during an altercation in Tulsa last September. The highway bridge that collapsed in Atlanta back in March will reopen on Monday. A portion of I-85 collapsed on March 30th after a massive fire was set under the heavily used highway bridge.
I'm especially thankful for the prompt and significant response from President Trump and the DOT Federal Secretary of Transportation, Elaine Chao, for the financial assistance that they provided us.
Georgia Governor Nathan Deal, chief of the FBI office here in Chicago, is in the running to become the temporary head of the agency. Michael Anderson among 4 veteran law enforcement and intelligence officials being interviewed to serve as interim FBI director. Southern Illinois University getting a lifeline from its Edwardsville campus. University trustees yesterday approved a loan of up to $35 million to keep SIU open through the end of the school year. Rockies blanked the Cubs 3-0. Twins and White Sox rained out. The news a service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today, just $19.99 plus $3 disposal fee. For tires, oil service, and repairs, National Tire and Battery. That's all you need. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher has had enough political correctness.
If a black guy took out a sword and started stabbing white college kids, one would think that should be part of the conversation. But you're not allowed to have that conversation because for some reason we are reluctant to have an honest dialogue about what very well may be a hate crime.
The Mike Gallagher Show.
I am so sick of political correctness.
Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm almost 87 years old, and I have had irritable bowel syndrome. I really feel better at my age. I'm telling you, I was weak and weary and just afraid to go any place because of this irritable bowel thing, and now I'm doing better. My doctor's already taken me off I think that's the name of it, for your cholesterol. I did a test, and he said, you don't have extra cholesterol, and he took it away from me. Isn't that wonderful? I'm amazed. I really, truly am. I thought these old people on here giving these commercials were full of stuff, and they surely didn't mean it. And they do mean it.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
5:36. Let's get an update on the ride to work this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens and the Kennedy are looking good right now. The Eisenhower has slow traffic inbound from 17th to Harlem. 32 minutes, Thorndale to the post office downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Inbound Stevenson delays start at Pulaski. It's 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 34. Irvine with delays starting at the Stevenson. Already 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 27 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State roadwork. The 163rd Street toll has cleared. The tollways are fine, and I-80 has cleared up as well. Traffic, the service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today, just $19.99 plus $3 disposal fee. For tires, oil, service, and repairs, National Tire and Battery. That's all you need. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Cloudy today, 61 for a high temp, partly cloudy and 43 overnight. 50 at O'Hare, 47 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. on AM 560, explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Education Secretary Betsy DeVos invited to Bethune-Cookman in Florida.
Daytona Beach University. Yeah.
Black college in Florida to give the commencement speech, and she wasn't treated particularly well.
Well, it started off well. There was the big announcement. And, we should tell you, too, prior to her visit, 50,000 students had signed a petition rejecting her invitation. So keep that in mind. But she said, you know what? I'm going to go on and give my speech anyway.
Whereas Betsy DeVos serves as the 11th U.S. Secretary of Education and was confirmed by the U.S. Senate on February 7, 2017, after being nominated by President Donald J. Trump, and she has been involved in education policy for nearly 3 decades.
Okay, so some people were booing and heckling her, shouting, "Shut the blank up." And she gets up there and starts speaking, and that's when about a fourth of the students, the little kiddies out there, stood up and turned their back to her.
Dr. Jackson, Board of Trustees, thank you so very, very much for this great honor and privilege. I am honored to become a Wildcat. And it's a real honor and privilege to be with you as we celebrate the Bethune-Cookman University class of 2017.
Sounds like they did a little bit more than turn their back on her.
Well, it got so bad that university president got up there. His name is Edison Jackson, and he tried to calm them down, rein them in.
Converse with and learn from those with whom we disagree.
If this behavior continues, your degrees will be mailed to you. Choose which way you want to go.
Well, they didn't listen, and she finished her speech.
Oh, really?
It gets worse.
As I said, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be with you today. While we will undoubtedly disagree at times, I hope we can do so respectfully. Let's choose to hear one another out.
And that was greeted with an "aw, shut the F up."
Yeah. Should she have gone in the first place? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
You know, the layers of ignorance, there's many to peel back here. I want to start with one that's just about black colleges.
Okay.
You know who was instrumental in the founding and funding of many historic black colleges? Republicans. John D. Rockefeller. You know, Spelman College.
Oh, yeah. That's where Marion Brooks went.
Yeah. That's named after John D. Rockefeller's wife. Oh, yeah. Howard, Morehouse, Shaw, Fisk, Virginia Union, Charles Oakley, Virginia Union. Talladega, Clark, Morgan, New Orleans, Philander, Russ, Sam Houston, Republicans.
All Republicans started the black university.
Abolitionists. Billions John D. Rockefeller poured into black colleges.
Well, they interviewed one of the protesters, one of the babies out there, and they said, well, she's a proponent of school choice.
She's a proponent of school
That's
choice.
What they said. That's why they were protesting. That's why they signed the petition, and he stood up and he put his back to her. I'm not going to listen to her. Well, earmuffs.
Well, I mean, I just want to, that's why I said there are layers of ignorance. I just want to kind of start with a little bit of a historical one, and then that's a great example. So I'm sorry, let me just understand something. This is like trying to talk to Maxine Waters. I want to try and understand something. Help me follow this logic. You're at a private university. And you're opposed to school choice.
Oxymoron.
Somebody help me connect the dots there. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And I'll answer your question with respect to DeVos going there. Yeah, she should have. And I'm glad she did. And I appreciate the reaction from Bethune-Cookman students because, again, we're not going to pretend that people are behaving in a way they're not. We're not going to pretend that something is going on college campuses. Tolerance, respect. That is not. We want to display for people to hear so they believe it. They see and hear with their own eyes. They can be convinced of the totalitarian mentality on college campuses. And, that reaction to the education secretary, I don't care if it was Arnie Duncan up there, as little respect as I have for him. You
shut your mouth.
You're
You be
polite, and you let people have their say.
Well, I was at the policy
and the
circle.
left, by the way, and the left will not do that. This is why the left is always rushing to end debates. This debate is over, and that debate is over because they want to impose, because they are thugs, and that display is I'll mark as Exhibit 1 in the evidentiary case, and so that's the difference. Conservatives always expand the debate, and the debate shall go on in perpetuity. As long as somebody has a view that they want to express, go ahead and express it. That's not the case here. That's not the case on college campuses.
Well, we were talking about Betsy DeVos at the policy circle meeting that I attended last night, Dan.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, your name came up a few times, but we'll talk about that later.
Right. Profanity-laced screeds,
But they
I'm
were
sure.
thinking, because the next policy circle meeting is going to be about education, and we thought we could Skype her in, and then somebody had suggested, well, why don't we bring her in?
Yeah.
And I said, this might be a safety issue for her. If people in Chicago, those crazy liberals, know that Betsy DeVos is coming, they might put on their pea hats and start protesting.
Well, I don't know.
But I say let the left just dig themselves a deeper hole.
Well, right, I agree with that. The policy circle, this is colleague to colleague, women.
Mm-hmm.
Like
no men, sorry. I'm
right.
sorry, Dan.
No, it's just great.
You can't come in.
I like it. I like the kind of the colleague to colleague, peer to peer discussions about public policy. It's great. There needs to be more of it.
And it was a lot about what women have gone through, Republican women have gone through since Trump's election.
You don't have to tell me, sister.
You down with our struggle?
I am. Candace and DuPage, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. I agree with you that we should be able to talk no matter what. But here's what I want Betsy DeVos to actually be working on. She annoys me, Dan, and the reason why is because she's said nothing about Title IX and has done nothing about Title IX. That is the most extremely egregious thing, among so many in education. And secondly, 33% of all loans that Obama and company gave out have not even had a single payment towards them. These people have no plans of ever paying them. Okay, third thing, the left in education. What is she going to do about that? That's what I want her working on. I don't want her going to these speeches. I want her actually doing something, and I mean radical stuff.
All right.
Radical. I want her, and when he put her in there, I thought, you know what? She's too damn sweet. You know who you need in there? You need a Kathy Bates. In a Stephen King movie.
Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates and her sledgehammer. All right, thanks for the call, Candace. Thanks for the call.
Funny.
Well, first of all, you can give commencement speeches and still move a policy agenda, so the two are not mutually exclusive. I agree with Candace about action. Now, you have to keep in mind one of the things that they're trying to work out on the Hill is a tax credit at the federal level that could potentially be applied to the 50 states and even worked around states that are controlled by Democrats who are opposed to school choice because they like to discriminate against children based on their household income and address. And so that's a huge issue. And Betsy DeVos has been at the tip of the spear with the American Federation for Children. So she's a lot tougher than I think her demeanor indicates. So let's give. I agree with Candace. I want to see some action. There's a good piece in the Federalist by Max Eden from Manhattan Institute about why DeVos should rescind Obama's ban on disciplining minority kids in school. This whole disparity in suspensions based on race. So there's a lot that's on her plate and should be on her plate, and that I agree with Candace. I want to see moved, but that doesn't mean that she shouldn't go to commencement speeches and present herself to draw whatever reaction she's going to draw, so that people see what is happening on college campuses in this country.
Well, why do you think they invited her in the first place? I mean, that's
because she's the education secretary of the United States. I mean, does that have something to do with it?
Why am I here?
Tony on the South Side,
Who
on
are
Chicago's
you?
Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, my friends. Listen, the question, should she have went? I say yes. I agree with you, Dan. I think that anybody who has an opposing view and goes to a college campus or any place where they're going to be shouted down, it will just shine a spotlight on these little petulant, addled, coddled chooches, and now we know what our future looks like for this country. And maybe we can start changing a little bit. Let's get back to basics. Let's get back to some respect. I don't know where these kids come from, but that would never happen in my household. When I was a kid or now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Teach your kids to respect people.
Thanks.
I mean, regardless of political affiliation, this anger has got to stop.
Thanks for the call, Tony, and excellent use of the word chooches. Thank you.
Chooches.
I didn't know we'd get a chooches in before 6 a.m. this morning. It's great.
Chooches.
Kevin in Lake Zurich.
Yeah, I applaud Betsy DeVos for going, and I think by her standing there and withering that storm, she really showed these students what real adversity is, and courage and strength in opposition are. And I applaud her for that. That's a tough thing that she did.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for the call, Kevin. And I'll tell you what, the other thing is, how she did it, too. So when they were shouting her down, screaming profane words at her, she just kept room temperature and just tried to speak. She even tweeted after the fact, Bethune-Cookman has a lot of great students and great student leaders. And so she took Michelle Obama's advice, of course, the Obamas never actually employed, to go high when they go low.
And, you know who else was there with her? Omarosa. And she was booed, too, when Betsy DeVos mentioned her. Yeah.
Guess is Omarosa a racist? Is that why? Everybody's a racist.
Oh, Omarosa hangs out with white people. That's why they don't like her.
Mm-hmm. Ron on the South Side.
Yeah, good morning, Danny. You know what? I am glad that she went. I wish we could get her to come to Chicago. I'd definitely be involved in that effort. But it's not only those students who we kind of displayed some disrespect at some level of ignorance. I had a conversation with Al Sharpton on his show talking about vouchers, and he went on to say, well, and really, like you said, when you disagree with these people, what they do is just talk over you and refuse. And I told him prior to her being named that be prepared. We will have choice, and eventually we'll have vouchers. And he showed his ignorance and the unconscious. But see, that's what happened. So again, I'm glad she went. We just have to keep on putting out the facts. They refuse to listen. I feel bad for those students that were there. But again, I wish she could come here and maybe we can get some help with these students who are trapped in these bad schools here. Have a great day.
Thanks for the call, Ron. And here's the other thing, too. This goes back to what the left does, and it should be called out straight away. You're not going to get me with your bigot baiting and your solidarity and marginality rap. Like you privileged students to attend college like Bethune-Cookman, be one of, be in the 1 in 3 Americans who have a college degree and have the doors of opportunity open to you. You're marginalized? Give me a break. And there needs to be some straight away conversation on those topics to these budding totalitarians.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-400-1841. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant, too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-400-1841. Again, that's 1-800-400-1841.
One of those students said, "You don't send your graduating class out into the world like this." Oh, boy. Have you heard? The Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's the location of our annual golf outing this year, sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford. But there's more than just golf at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Treat the mom in your life to a champagne brunch on Mother's Day at the Bolingbrook Golf Club from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Make your reservations now for Mother's Day. Visit BolingbrookGolfClub.com. That's BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
There's no feeling like grabbing a seat in a comfy chair to look through memories in a photo album. It's so much more enjoyable than looking at a computer or the small screen of a smartphone. An album of photos will last a lifetime. They can't be erased or become victim of a crashed hard drive. Print your photo memories at oneclickpics.com, your online photo center. Whether they're for an album, a gift, or framed for display, you want the very best quality. You can get that from the photo experts at oneclickpics.com. OneClickPics.com is a professional photo printer. You'll be amazed at the quality of your pictures, canvas prints, invitations, or announcements. You'll see details in your photos you've never seen before. And right now, when you buy 25 printed photo cards, you get 15 free. Use promo code 15FREE at checkout. Trust your digital picture memories to the photo technicians trained in every aspect of digital photo production. OneClickPics.com. OneClickPix.com.
So how is your son or daughter being educated? Are you frustrated with your public school? Do you want to send your kid to a private school but thought, I don't have the money to do it? Well, we want to remind you about halfpriceschools.com. Thanks to halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over the Chicagoland area that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price. There's no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school. It's really simple. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located South Holland, Chicago, Arlington Heights, Kankakee, just to name a few. So make private schools affordable for your family for the first time this year. But do not wait. These vouchers always sell out. HalfPriceSchools.com. HalfPriceSchools.com.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts. The list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are more deliciously sophisticated than ever. With so many great options, everyone will be happy.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
And your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food. Entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at TastyCatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more. Visit TastyCatering.com. TastyCatering.com.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. On the Kennedy Expressway inbound, traffic is stop and go from the River Road toll to Cumberland. It's 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound Fond at 20. All clear on the Edens. The Eisenhower delays in both directions. There was an outbound crash at 17th Avenue. It just cleared. It's about 39 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 45, with delays starting at Austin. Inbound Stevensonsville, Harlem to Kedzian. From the Ryan to Lakeshore Drive, 42 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Issue 430. Traffic is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog for the morning, otherwise a cloudy day today, high of 60. Tonight turning out to be partly cloudy with a low of 44. Then tomorrow, sun and some clouds throughout the day with a high 64. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
The news is service of Accountemps, the leading temporary staffing agency for accounting, financing, bookkeeping professionals. In fact, 9 out of 10 of their customers would recommend them to a colleague. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. Currently 50 at O'Hare, 47 along Chicago's lakefront. And at 5:59 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, here are the stories we're following at this hour. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. The chief of the FBI's office in Chicago now in the running to become the temporary head of that agency. Michael Anderson among the 4 veteran law enforcement or intelligence officials being interviewed to serve as interim FBI director. Republicans cut short an attempt in Springfield by Illinois Senate Democrats to recharge the grand bargain budget compromise. Democratic Senate President John Cullerton says he can't compromise further. GOP leader Christine Radonio says he has to, and the sides are close. A search is underway to find the driver involved in a deadly hit and run in Wadsworth. Lake County Sheriff's Office say a man was struck and killed while walking along Route 41 Tuesday night. Rockies blanked the Cubs 3-0. Yesterday's game between the Twins and White Sox postponed due to rain. Cloudy skies. We'll have more Dan and Amy after a full update from Fox News. WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. 3 hours from now, the new acting head of the FBI is due on Capitol Hill to testify in place of Fire Director James Comey at a hearing on worldwide threats. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Lisa, acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe will sit in what would have been Comey's chair before the Senate Intelligence Committee. It's a previously scheduled hearing on worldwide threats, but it's likely that Russia and the firing of Comey will come up. President Trump is defending the decision.
Why did you fire Director Comey? Because he wasn't doing a good job, very simply. He was not doing a good job.
A senior White House official tells Fox News that the president has expressed displeasure about Comey to his closest aides in the weeks leading up to his dismissal and had talked about firing him. Democrats continue to call for a special prosecutor to investigate any Russia connection to President Trump's campaign. Lisa.
Well, meantime, Rachel, fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has now been subpoenaed by the same committee to provide records related to his Russia contacts after he declined a request in April on the advice of his attorney. Protesters outside Trump Tower in New York vowing to keep speaking out every day until he's gone in the name of humanity, said one sign, on issues ranging from the Comey firing to immigration. Aetna will no longer be part of Obamacare, the company announcing a complete exit as of next year, pulling out of its remaining 2 Obamacare exchanges in Delaware and Nebraska.
This is the final phase of the death spiral. It's done.
Fox Business Network Stuart Varney telling Fox and Friends.
We have Anthem, Cigna, and Molina, 3 other huge health insurers. They are considering, quote unquote, a total withdrawal, just like Aetna.
The U.S. Senate is working on its version of an Obamacare replacement bill after narrow House approval of a plan Democrats say would gut coverage. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
Harvey owns a building and wants to save money by making his heating and cooling system more energy efficient.
Yes.
But Harvey's afraid of the cost and if he can get a return on his investment.
I am indeed.
Plus, he's nervous about disrupting the businesses that rent space in his building. Harvey doesn't know what to do with an HVAC system that's seen better days. The Air Comfort problem solvers to the rescue. Working as a team, the Air Comfort professionals find simple solutions that make a huge impact on building efficiency and operating costs, with minimal or no disruptions to building operations. HVAC upgrades and retrofits from Air Comfort can save thousands of dollars per year. They save energy, reduce maintenance, and eliminate downtime. And buildings with better energy ratings command higher rents and selling prices and make tenants happy. Get real solutions from the Air Comfort team of problem solvers. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com and start saving money today. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Maxim Power Sports in Merrillville. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Let's turn stateside for a minute here. You know, we're in full swing of the 18 election cycle, but that also includes a governor and all the constitutional officers in Illinois. We've got a General Assembly that's careening towards the end of session right now. So it was great that House Speaker Mike Madigan decided to give a late night interview.
Yeah, and in the thick of darkness, Mike Madigan comes out.
Yeah, so it was mostly, I think, about UFOs, but he did spend some time to talk about politics.
Today is National Twilight Zone Day.
Is it?
No, I'm not. Yeah, because, every day is a stupid day now, like Cheeseburger Day or Donut Day.
I'm glad I'm not flying. I don't want to see that on the wing, that monster on the wing of the plane.
So maybe that's why he came out in the thick of the night.
And he gave an interview, the rare interview that Mike Madigan gives, particularly an extended one, over there on Vanilla Wafer Radio to someone named Patty Vasquez.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keith knows her very well. No, Keith used to work with her.
Oh, okay.
And I know her from Cochrane. She's a comedian. She does stand-up comedy on the weekends. She's kind of funny.
Well, her interview of Madigan was hilarious, but unintentionally so, because it would have been more probing had she just given him 30 minutes to read a prepared statement. That's
Really?
the quality of the questions. Now, well,
she's not a journalist by trait or even she's becoming a talk show host, but that's why they started her out at night to see if she can make it.
No, I get it. She's not knowledgeable. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's not a journalist. She knows nothing about policy.
And she's
I totally
a comedian.
Get it.
Okay.
I was the funny was missing.
But
okay. So that's the value add is she's a comedian. Interesting. Would have never guessed. Here's the thing. Also, WGN it's kind of like PBS without the substance. That's WGN. It's kind of like easy listening, kind of dabbling in the news
How you
and
set
lifestyle
up the toilet paper roll.
Yeah, for octogenarians.
Over, under, yeah.
Yeah, those are big topics.
Well, what do you like to do?
Yeah. So Mike Madigan is on with Patty Vasquez. He gives us a 30-minute interview where he sees how many times he can characterize Ronner as extreme in 30 minutes. And he piles up quite a big number. But by the way, just a predicate question. Do you find Ronner's policy agenda extreme? Do you think that the reason that we don't have a constitutionally balanced state budget in the last 2 years is because Ronner's policy posture is quote-unquote extreme? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Madigan makes his case. Hey, look, Jim Edgar agrees with me.
Last week, former Governor Edgar, a Republican, a respected Republican, said that you are not the villain that the media makes you out to be. And that even with a weak governor or an incompetent governor, the governor still has more power than the speaker. What did you think when the governor said that?
Governor and Edgar and I had a good relationship when he was the governor and I was the speaker, and we've maintained a good relationship since. And so we see each other from time to time. We were together at a memorial in the Capitol building a few weeks ago for a man named Steve Schnorf. We sat right next to each other.
Fascinating.
Exchanged some
Really
ideas and views on the
That's
current
French.
budget impasse. And I would say it was fair to say that he and I are pretty much in agreement on the problem and how we could solve the problem. I've thoroughly enjoyed my relationship with Governor Edgar, as I did with Governor Thompson and Governor Ryan.
There's no question. Why wouldn't you enjoy your relationship with those three governors? Because you ran the table on them. So it's very much like how the Harlem Globetrotters enjoy their relationship with the Washington Generals.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's very enjoyable because I'm wiping the floor with you. The fact that, it's very interesting, and Jim Edgar has been critical of Ronner and critical of anybody who doesn't want to raise taxes. So Jim Edgar and Mike Madigan agree on what the problem is in state government and the solution. Jim Edgar and Mike Madigan also agreed on policies that got us well down the road to many of the problems we have, including the largest unfunded pension liability in the country, which is driving the worst credit rating in the country. So just in terms of the invocation of Jim Edgar to make Mike Madigan sound like he's kind of a bipartisan guy is problematic yet instructive, because he is right about one thing. Big government Republican governors did conspire with Mike Madigan to destroy this state's economy. But Mike Madigan's the guy who's been there for 35 years, and I know I love when the rare occasion he does these interviews, because he loves to kind of pour mouth. Yeah. I'm just one legislator. Right. I'm just one of 118 members of the House. Okay. And then, so now Madigan making his case about Ronner's extreme agenda, to my question.
And I think it's fair to ask, well, what's changed? What's different between now and those prior 7 governors? And obviously, it's the current governor, Mr. Ronner, who, in my judgment, is attempting to enact an extreme right agenda for Illinois, and I don't support that.
Oh, he's really extreme.
He's extreme.
He's extreme.
Extreme
Why
right
didn't you
agenda.
say scary?
Here's the
agenda.
other thing. Here's the other thing too. Madigan arguing that effectively he's saying that the state was founded in 2015 when Ronner was inaugurated as governor, and that prior to Ronner's inauguration, do you believe this? Yeah. Everything was fine. Everything was going fine.
Oh, we had no debt, no unpaid bills,
then
no pension problems.
Ronner shows up with this extreme agenda, and now the state's going to hell in a handbasket, Mike Madigan.
I've done it for a long time. 8 prior governors. The last 7, we always had a budget. Why? Because after we worked through our partisan differences, we recognized that we had to be reasonable on the budget making. We adopted a budget so that the services of the state would be delivered to the people that need the services of the state. The state would properly fund education. We would properly fund human services. We would properly fund the child welfare program, the child support program. All those things happened under 7 prior governors, 4 of whom were Republican.
So
Wow. I mean, I don't know who's worse, him or Maxine Waters.
Well, honestly, I want to hear. I'd love to hear from somebody who actually believes this stuff, because there are people out there that do. Otherwise, he wouldn't continue to be speaker, not just in his district, but for all of his minions, all of his roll call votes in the House Democrat caucus. Is that the story of Illinois? Balanced budgets. He said we've had budgets. He was quick to point out, he was correct to not say constitutionally balanced budgets, because we haven't had a constitutionally balanced budget in decades. So we've had phony baloney budgets that Republican governors and Democrat House Speaker Mike Madigan have agreed to. But what good is a phony baloney budget? Isn't that worse than no budget? It's a lie. It's the appearance of a budget where you're spending beyond your means. And that's something to be congratulated, because we checked a box that says we have this thing called a budget, even though it's in violation of the Constitution and in violation of balancing a checkbook. And then the rest of what he said, all those governors and all those budgets, properly funded education, properly funded human services, everybody got what they needed. Is that the story of Illinois during Mike Madigan's 3.5 decades as Speaker? Does anybody believe that? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line. And don't just respond to me. Ask your neighbors. Ask people within your social circle that vote Democrat up and down the ballot in this state. I mean, honestly, you like being scammed. Do you like being treated like a pigeon?
Well, more like being robbed.
Well, okay.
Scammed, robbed.
Yeah.
Same
I mean,
thing. They're interchangeable.
He's a 3-card Monte dealer on the corner. That's what this is. And people think they can pick out the Black Mariah every time in this state. I mean, it's unfathomable to listen to him and to understand the truth that a lot of people in this state and the entire, big government press corps, the Chicago press corps, buy it. They
Did
do.
she ask him anything tough, like about property tax freezes?
Oh, yeah.
Or...
Oh, sure. Yeah. How about a graduated state income tax, the flat tax?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Oh, he's a progressive.
Well, there's strong political will. You would need a resolution of the legislature adopted by 3/5 in the legislature. So I say there's strong will. I'm not sure if it's at the level of 3/5. But there's a good amount of support in the legislature and in the general population for the proposition there should be a progressive income tax,
yeah.
Which translated means that if you make more money, you pay more money.
It would make sense.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, sure. Yeah. I mean, the fact that this was, of course, never discussed because this Patty Vasquez is a comedian, and so is Mike Madigan, and they're both unintentional comedians. Illinois, highest combined state and local tax burden in the country at present. Even higher than states that have progressive income taxes because of property taxes, most particularly. Here's something else. You want to kind of strain the bounds of credulity? You want to suspend disbelief? Here's who Mike Madigan works for. Okay. This is why he does everything he does. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
It's all about quality of life for working people. We're not talking about quality of life for wealthy people.
No.
We're talking about quality of life for people that go to a job, only ask for a decent salary, which would enable them to pay rent, pay a mortgage, educate children, care for the elderly in the twilight of their lives. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right, why are the rich always vilified by the Democrats?
Why
is it bad to make money?
I've got a better question. Why do those working people he describes buy that bull jive? Why do they think that he and his cohorts represent them? You pay the highest overall state and local tax burden in the country. You have the worst state government. You do not have access to social service providers. If you have a child with a developmental disability, you are subject to the worst regime with respect to human services in the country. You are seeing your home taken from you at the local level. Home values almost everywhere down 10, 20, 30, 50, 80% in the Chicago metropolitan area over the last decade and trending towards complete insolvency. Your home is not your home. It's the government's collateral for somebody else's pension. And you think this guy and his team is for working people in the state? You know, people with a job who go to work, who want to care. Really? people with a job who go to work. Hey, you people with a job and go to work. Is Mike Madigan representing you? I mean, honestly. And here's Madigan, to your question, Amy, about property tax freeze that's been proposed by the governor.
He talks about a freeze. The House of Representatives has already adopted a real estate tax relief package, which does not freeze but reduces taxes.
Yeah, it's the same
what is
that we talked about. It's the Michelle Mussman bill that puts a freeze on that extends some exemptions, but because it does nothing to change the way property's assessed, it's going to end up with middle income people paying a property tax increase. This is the same thing that's been happening for the last 30 years in Illinois. Why does he keep doing it? Because he keeps getting reelected, and so do his friends. And so property tax freeze. Every politician in the state has said at one time or another, I voted for a property tax freeze over the last 3 decades. I know, because I've been around for that long and I've been following it, and you hear it from both sides. All of these property tax freezes, folks, and we pay the highest property taxes in the country. Do you believe it's an actual freeze, or can you connect the dots to say there must be something systemically wrong, or I'm being lied to, or a combination of the two, and it is a combination of the two? And so Madigan continues to lie because what's the consequence? This rap has been working since Illinois was a forest, so why should he stop?
Well, doesn't he lower property tax values for big corporations and the loop?
Right, of course.
So why stop? Because he profits off of it.
There's no question about that.
We'll go up, I'll make it go down, but give me this set amount of money.
He has, I think.
How is that even legal?
He's a walking conflict of interest. He writes property tax law, and he represents, I think the Tribune report, I think it was 6 or 7 of the largest commercial property taxpayers in the city. And he does this whole, at the firm, we've got I'm walled off from that aspect of it. I'm just over here. Give me a break. And here's somebody else, by the way, for all of your left friends who are so obsessed.
Have friends anymore.
Well, generally speaking, who are so obsessed with Trump's tax returns. And fine. Can you direct that obsession towards Madigan? Let's find out how much money he's making as this walking conflict of interest, leveraging his position as the Speaker of the House, making property tax law and controlling the Cook County Democrat Party, Joe Barrios, who's the assessor, controlling the Board of Tax Appeals, how much money he's making, how much money he's made. This guy's going to pass away someday, and we're going to find out he's worth $50 million, $100 million. I'm not kidding. And he's
a lot
been
of these lawmakers are.
And he's been a legislator for 40 years. And he's worth 50, 100 million. I don't know what the number is.
He doesn't even have a cell phone.
I don't know what the number is. But why doesn't he disclose it? I mean, he said the closest we've ever got was when he proposed the millionaire's tax last year. And he said, in a good year, it would apply to me. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Dan in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thank you. I'm going to tell you the reason why this is allowed is because the people of Illinois don't do anything about it. They accept it. And if you have a complacent populace, they're going to allow whatever to go on. And that is what's gone on for the last 100 years at least. Now, a funny note for you is that in Springfield, at the Illinois State Supreme Court, there is a statue of the Lady Liberty. She is sitting there with the scales of justice fallen to her ankles, and she's sitting there looking just totally disgusted. That is the statue outside the Illinois State Supreme Court, and that is a very good semblance of this state.
Thanks for the call, Dan. Mike on the north side. Hey, Mike.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Why wouldn't Madigan get along with Republican governors? That would be like Tom Keene getting along with Richard J. Daley. Remember the last governor we had where they said he was irrelevant, they went around him. He can't be trusted. 16 years ago when my daughter was in Children's Hospital, the nurses said, you're in big trouble if you have to go to the state for help if your insurance runs out. 3 different nurses told me, and they're not political, Mike Madigan hates sick children. If you're a lawyer that does personal injury, or if you're an insurance company, Mike Madigan loves you. And Patty Vasquez, Dan, you're wrong. She's the perfect Chicago journalist. She has no knowledge about politics. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's just sits there and lets them spiel.
Yeah.
Watch.
Right.
Listen, look at the Cubs game. She will be in Mike Madigan's private box in the next couple of weeks. He's got seats 3 rows up from the visitors' dugout.
Thanks for the call, Mike. By the way, I reached out to Steve Brown, Mike Madigan's spokesman, longtime spokesman, who has been on the show, Illinois Rising, our Sunday show. We did 45 minutes together, and good for him for engaging. And I asked if Mike Madigan wants to come on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And
did he say he'll get back to you?
I said, alternatively, if the speaker's not up to coming on our show, because you know how tough you are.
I'm a bulldog, yeah. What's your favorite color?
Well, and if he's not up to that, if he's not up to the grilling from one Amy Jacobson, then if Steve Brown would come on, and he said he'd put me on the list.
Oh, okay.
So I suspect that we'll very soon be getting a confirmation that Mike Madigan will come on this show. Jordan in Forest Park.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Andy. You know, if you're a business and you're trying to develop a new product, you hire a public relations firm to get the message out. And I think Rauner, it would be a great expenditure of his money if he hired a public relations firm and showed how bad Illinois is compared to local surrounding states, tax rates, et cetera, and then put in the message, this is because of it's a democratic state. I'm trying to help you and to get the word out because the word is not getting out. And I think that's what really should be done.
Thanks for the call, Jordan. I mean, he has a huge comm staff, so I guess that's some kind of commentary on that. Mark on the Northwest Side.
Hey, until they stop the gerrymandering and they draw the districts right, it doesn't matter who 90% of us vote for because Michael Madigan is getting reelected by his one little district, and then his buddies vote him in as Speaker of the House. They keep kicking things off the ballot like term limits and other things. His daughter's protecting him legally. You know, and you got to start at the basics. Nothing's going to change until they stop picking the voters and the voters start picking the representatives.
Thanks for the call, Mark. I agree about redistricting reform, of course, going to something like the Iowa model where it's just computer generated based on the principles outlined in Supreme Court decisions on map making. But here's the thing. Suburbs voting for Democrats, Eastern DuPage, Northwest Cook. We just finally got rid of one Democrat legislator in McHenry County, but then he became the McHenry County board chairman. So that's another, it's a whole county voting for a Democrat in McHenry County, a county that Trump wins by 30 points. Lake County, too. Something else afoot there. We're losing, we being conservatives, Republicans, losing districts we could otherwise win, should otherwise win. And so, yeah, I agree people get the representation they deserve. I agree with redistricting reform. But there's also something that the Republican Party hasn't done to close the deal with people who know the state's in bad shape and do not see Mike Madigan and the Democrats as their path to a better quality of life in Illinois. They see them as their path to the exit, the exit line from Illinois. So, you know, there's got to be some ownership taken for the Republican Party, going back to kind of what Jordan from Forest Park was saying about the messaging. What's the value proposition? What are we communicating? How are we engaging people rather than just taking positions on issues, actually engaging people in dialogue, informing them with data and information to bring them along, to let them be ambassadors for good public policy and good ideas, to inform those who do care or want to care but don't know where to get the information to be properly informed, to have an understanding of what's happening around them. So there's the old Democrat line about plenty of blame to go around. That's true, starting with those in power and also redounding down to those who aren't.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
That's Lisbeth. She doesn't know it, but she owes her life to a change in public opinion. Our younger generation of women is turning the tide of public opinion concerning abortion. The most recent statistics show that more women facing unwanted pregnancies are choosing life compared to 15 years ago. Many wonder why, if a pregnant woman and her unborn child are murdered, it's a double homicide. Yet they ask, why isn't abortion a crime? More women now value life, even if their unwanted child is to be placed for adoption, because they may feel like they can never forgive themselves of an abortion, even if the law does. Lake County Right to Life, helping young women choose courage over convenience. LCRTL.org. That's LCRTL.org. Visit Lake County Right to Life on Twitter and Facebook, or call 847-223-7022.
Hello, the Bolingbrook Golf Club. It is the location of our annual golf outing this year, sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford. But there's more than just golf at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Treat the mom in your life to a champagne brunch on Mother's Day at the Bolingbrook Golf Club from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So make reservations right now. Mother's Day, this Sunday. Visit BolingbrookGolfClub.com. That's BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Napa know-how.
That's not heavy metal music or the sound of a stray cat fight. It's your car's not-so-subtle way of saying, head to Napa for new brake pads and rotors and get up to a $50 rebate by mail. So don't confuse for anything other than new brakes and $50 back by mail. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 5/31/17.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spider Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Maxim Power Sports in Merrillville. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
There's so much to look forward to as the weather gets warmer. Outdoor sports and activities, backyard parties, and graduations. For your next celebration, party, or get-together, leave the eats to Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli. Whether it's around your table or theirs, Augie's is the place where sports teams, families, and friends celebrate with great food at a great price for almost 40 years. Try their signature subs, freshly made and fully loaded with the highest quality meats and cheese. Or choose from their fresh, never-frozen half-pound Angus beef burgers, authentic homemade Italian beef sandwiches, hand-rolled meatballs, pizza, and fresh salads. Dine in, surrounded by authentic rock and roll memorabilia, or phone ahead for orders to go. Whatever works for your team, Augie's offers fast, fresh, affordable food, designed to make your special time with friends and family simple and easy. Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli in Carroll Stream or West Chicago. Don't forget to check out their extensive catering menu at augustinos.com. This season, let the good times happen with Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli.
When you get in your car, you program your destination into the GPS. You need the best directions to get to where you want to be. The same is true for retirement. You need a voice to guide you along the way. And in Chicago, that voice is Jack Taboda. Join Jack every Saturday morning at 7 right here on 560 The Answer. Jack's nearly 40 years of experience can help make your retirement journey feel like a drive down easy street. Take that first step. Tune in Saturday mornings at 7 for retirement planning with Jack Taboda of Taboda and Associates.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer David Garrow about the tome, and I mean tome, his new biography on Barack Obama and some of the explosive revelations contained within. That's at 6:36.
it does weigh 10 pounds. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
48 degrees in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. Laptop computers are now reportedly being banned on flights from Europe to the United States. It's part of that expanded electronics ban expected to be announced today by the Department of Homeland Security. FBI Director James Comey was reportedly seeking out more resources for the Russian meddling investigation at the time he was being fired by President Trump. Top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee says she was surprised and taken aback by the president's firing of James Comey.
If the reason for firing Comey was because of his handling of the Clinton investigation, why now?
In a Senate hearing yesterday, California Democrat Dianne Feinstein called the firing incredulous, while a senior Republican senator is satisfied with the way the president dealt with the FBI director.
I don't need any more explanation. I thought he would have been fired the first day, either by a President Hillary Clinton if she had won, or President Trump. I think he's had 100 days that he didn't deserve.
Alabama Senator Richard Shelby, acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe will be on Capitol Hill today. In place of the fired director, he'll join other intelligence officials speaking to the Senate Intelligence Committee's annual hearing on worldwide threats. The chief of the FBI's office in Chicago is apparently in the running to become the temporary head of the agency. Michael Anderson is among the 4 veteran law enforcement and intelligence officials being interviewed to serve as interim FBI director. The Illinois State Police say a man has been arrested and charged with shooting at a vehicle on a Chicago area expressway last year. 23-year-old Alante Sewell of Frankfort was arrested this week in Will County, charged with aggravated discharge of a firearm. And Chicago-based Boeing is temporarily suspending flights of its 737 MAX jetliner because of engine trouble. The aerospace giant saying it issued that order after CFM International notified it of a potential defect with jet engines already delivered. The plane is powered by LEAP engines made under a joint venture between General Electric and France's Safran Technology Group. Rockies blanked the Cubs 3-0 at Coors Field. Yesterday's game between the White Sox and Twins was postponed because of rain. The news, a service of Accountemps. Accountemps is the leading temporary staffing agency for accounting, finance, and bookkeeping professionals. In fact, 9 out of 10 of their customers would recommend them to a colleague. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
With all of his faults and the occasional misstep, the President of the United States has one more thing to hang his hat on. He's a promise keeper. He promised to fix the Obamacare problem, and after a few fits and starts, looks like he's doing it. He promised to bring jobs back to America, and no president has done better. He promised to return American leadership to foreign policy after 8 years of leading from behind. And he promised evangelicals he would take the restrictions off churches to let a pastor preach the way he wants. Hey, we're just getting started. For more, keep it here. AM 560. The Answer.
Now on sale through May 17th. The best pre-workouts, proteins, vitamins, and fish oil are buy 2, get 1 free. And mix and match. Change begins at GNC.
Here's Jerry, Utah Hall of Fame tennis player, talking about balance of nature.
When you get to be a senior, my age, almost 77, you lose a step here, you lose a little reflex, you lose a little timing. But the thing I've noticed since I've been on Balance of Nature, I'm just as perky as ever. I don't get tired, and it's a wonderful feeling. I can play 4 and 5 hours of tennis a day, and up to that time, I couldn't do that. It's wonderful to know that every day you can get the fruits and vegetables that you need to be taking. To me, it's just marvelous.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get the best offer they've ever given. 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
6:35. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Indiana Toll Road westbound, traffic is stop and go from the Portage Toll Plaza to the Portage Interchange. Inbound Edens has delays starting around 2 27 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 31 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. The Eisenhower, delays starting at Wolf, 53 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 36. Stevenson, 47 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. North on Tri-State slow Southwest Highway to the Mile Long Bridge. From Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, to the Reagan Solway to North Avenue. Traffic is a service for Staples. When it comes to technology, go to Staples. Staples has the latest HP and Dell PCs at low prices every day. Plus, when you buy a new PC or printer at Staples, you will get 30 days of tech support free. See store or staples.com/tech services for details. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Cloudy day ahead, heavy fog in spots this morning. High of 61, partly cloudy, and 43 overnight. Currently, we have 50 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And I'll tell you, Amy, this new Obama biography by a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, David Garrow. It's called Rising Star, The Making of Barack Obama. And we've talked about it a little bit as some snippets were released into the press prior to its publication. It strikes me, first of all, it strikes me that David Garrow may be related to Leo Tolstoy. Because,
Okay.
I mean, this is a tome. This
could
War
cause
and Peace length.
Yeah, blunt force trauma to the head.
Yeah.
That's how big this book is.
Well,
it weighs about 10 lbs. I'm working out with it right now.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't want to say buy it on Kindle because I want him to get all the royalties from
Right.
the hardcover book. But here's the thing, if that's even how the publishing world works, I have no idea. But here's the thing about it. It strikes me, it's so long, it's interesting because it strikes me that it's less about kind of policy analysis and worldview and more about his personal history. And it kind of speaks to how much we still don't know about Barack Obama, even here in Chicago. Like, for example, one of the bits that leaked out, I didn't know that he proposed to a woman before he married Michelle.
Never heard of her.
It's
before that.
fascinating. So this is, why he's a Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer and we're not. David Garrow, the author of Rising Star, The Making of Barack Obama, joins us now. Mr. Garrow, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Certainly, it's great to be with you.
Is that a fair characterization that this is more kind of really delving into the life and times of Barack Obama in uncovering things that I think most people, certainly I didn't. I follow this stuff pretty closely. Didn't know about him.
Very much so. Barack first moved to Chicago in 1985. He spent the next 3 years there working down in Roseland on the far south side as a community organizer. It was really his first immersion in a black community, having grown up in Hawaii and Indonesia. So while he's really immersing himself for the first time in black Chicago, he's also, those same years, living very quietly, privately in Hyde Park with a woman who's a graduate student at the U of C, half Dutch, half Japanese, Sheila. And they had a very intense relationship during those years. He wanted her to follow him to Harvard for law school. She had her own academic plans and aspirations. But those 3 years in Chicago, in Roseland, with Sheila, are really the formative experience of Barack Obama's life, and largely unknown until now.
Were you able to find any steelworker in Roseland that he actually got a job for? Because I think we're still looking for a steelworker.
There's a wonderful former steelworkers union official whom I met, and when I saw him several years ago, he's a mountain of a man. He was a Chicago police commander down there in the station on 103rd Street. The whole first chapter of this book is about the collapse of the steel industry on the southeast side and the world, the sort of economically collapsing world of the far south side that Barack arrives in for the first time in the summer of 1985. I was very fortunate to discover the names of scores of local community people down there, Roman Catholic parishes that were just hanging on. There are scores and scores of people around Chicagoland never discovered by journalists who knew Barack back then.
Well, what did he do to help people in the community? I mean, what does it mean to be a community organizer?
Barack and his colleagues tried to build up church-based community groups, and without much success. Barack was very taken with Harold Washington as the mayor, was really hurt, as were so many black Chicagoans, when Mayor Washington died so suddenly. And Washington's example in politics is what led Barack to want to pursue a political career, to go to Harvard, and Washington's trajectory, going to the state legislature. Barack thought about mayor, but Washington was a very powerful example for Barack.
I want to go back to that relationship with the, I guess she's now a professor, the woman before Michelle that he had proposed to.
Sheila,
yeah, thank you. And how, at least some of the reports on this, it's been described as almost his relationships being, at least characterized by him, as intellectual and transactional. Not only the issue with her that she wasn't black, and so would that inhibit his political career, but also the other kind of bombshell in your book that Barack Obama had considered gayness, but decided against it because he didn't think it would be as rigorous as a heterosexual relationship, which is just bizarre to me.
It's one passing reference he makes in a letter to a girlfriend some years before he comes to Chicago. The relationship with Sheila was vastly more important. She's really the person who most closely witnessed his own growth and emergence and decision during those years in Hyde Park that a political career was what he wanted to pursue. And in part, the political desire grows out of his frustration and disappointment at how little they're able to accomplish at the community organizing level.
Well, was Sheila paid off to stay quiet, when he was running for president? Because that's
Not
some
at all.
pretty shocking information that he didn't want to marry her because she couldn't help him politically.
I was able to discover Sheila because if you walk into the library at the University of Chicago and pull the student directories from, 1986 to 1988, you can see in the student directories who else was living at the same address at which Barack was living.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how, no journalists back in, the presidential campaigns made that simple effort to see who else was living with Barack at his address.
Well, that's just because they reprint Barack Obama's press releases. So if it wasn't in a press release, they're not going to find it or report it. It's fascinating. Now, the political career piece of this, because in Chicago, and I was working in the House for the House Republicans, the time that Obama was in the Senate. I was in politics running campaigns. I was actually involved in his 2004 Senate race opposed to him. And so I knew a little bit about him, and I know a lot about Illinois politics. And, Barack Obama, prior to 2004, he wasn't seen as this, can't-miss superstar just waiting for the right opportunity to spring from the General Assembly to statewide office and much less national office. And part of this narrative in Chicago is that somehow, David Axelrod plucked him from obscurity in the state Senate to run for that U.S. Senate seat in 2004 when Fitzgerald retired. And it seems to me from a lot of the research in your book that he had this vision for a long time as a young man, and he was plotting his way the entire time. It wasn't, David Axelrod coming and anointing him and then elevating him.
As you know very well, the most crucial figure there in Illinois, and especially down in Springfield in the legislature in Barack's rise, was Emil Jones.
Yeah, that's right.
African-American president of the state Senate. One of the other great sort of ironies, discoveries in this book that one of the competing Senate campaigns had but didn't understand back in 2004 was that there was actually a ghost employee on Barack's state Senate payroll.
Really?
Unbeknownst to Barack himself, but one of the competing campaigns doing opposition research, vacuumed up all the paper, but no one realized that there was no one, who really existed under this name. That's a quality of Illinois politics.
Oh, yes, it is. Sure.
Where the salary checks really were going, I don't yet know.
So, Dave, what was the most shocking thing that you learned about President Barack Obama?
I wouldn't say shocking. I would say important. Everyone has old girlfriends. I don't think that's truly huge news.
Dan's got a ton.
Yeah, right.
But Barack has an unpublished book manuscript from before Dreams from My Father, a book that he and his best friend in law school, Rob Fisher, who helped him on Dreams, wrote together. 250 pages. Half of it's about race. A lot of to me as a progressive Democrat, a lot of the comments Barack makes in that manuscript back in 1991 about race are right on target. But Republicans could have had a field day making TV ads out of some of those statements in this unpublished manuscript.
Did you obtain one of the things? I mean, not the birth certificate stuff, but his college records. Those kind of never saw light of day either, and it was an issue that was made of, why don't you release your transcripts, this and this and this. Any information in that area?
I've pieced together about 95% of all the courses Barack took from high school through law school. There's one elective course he enrolled in as an undergraduate at Columbia titled State Socialist Societies. That's why the transcripts have never been released. But ironically, the syllabus, the readings for this course on state socialist societies are all anti-communist readings. So there's a double irony. They're concealing something that wouldn't really have been damaging.
That's interesting. Now, how has this book been received? Because I saw a tweet from David Marinus, who's considered a respected presidential historian, at least in some circles. And he kind of took out after you personally, not even with respect to your book, but you personally. What's the story there? How are you being received in circles where Barack Obama should be on Mount Rushmore?
I've never met or spoken with that individual. People act out in Trump-like fashion on Twitter. Even about people who are complete strangers to them. Some people are, I think, unable to get beyond partisan emotions. But I'm a professional historian. I happen to be a progressive sort of Chewy Garcia Democrat. But this is in many respects a book that's quite critical about Barack's presidency and how Barack as president turned out to be very different, much less bipartisan, for example, number one, than he had been when he was down in Springfield and having to work with even more conservative Republican members of the state Senate, as you well know.
Do you hope the President Barack Obama or former president reads this book?
I spent 8 hours in person with Barack last year, off the record, as these things happen in Washington. And Barack read, paged through the whole first 10 chapters of this book, and we arm wrestled about any number of particulars. He's unhappy with some of my conclusions and some of my perceptions. I think that's inescapable when you're writing about someone who has, built up a political story of their own that they're, attached to preserving.
What about going back to kind of from where he sprang, really, and his relationships in those formative years? One of the relationships that a lot of people have made an issue of at the national level, but it has been an issue here, and I certainly think it's an issue, is his relationship with Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn. And I wonder if there's any additional context that you provide in your book about those individuals.
Yes, very much so. The simple bottom line is that Barack and Michelle Obama were much closer social friends and acquaintances with Bernadine Dorn and Bill Ayers than anybody led on to back during the presidential campaign. I've spoken with Bernadine, very impressive woman, spoken with Bill. By the time the Obamas came to know Bill and Bernadine, they were, entirely well-accepted members of the Chicago policy community, in part because Bill comes from such a prominent old Chicago family. So even though they were much closer than people wanted to let on, I don't think being a Hyde Park buddy of Bill Ayers itself says anything about Barack's politics.
What about the Jeremiah Wright Church and how that played itself out, and whether or not there is a relationship to this day with Jeremiah Wright?
Reverend Wright was a crucial figure in Barack's life. Barack began talking regularly with him even when he was first working. Barack was first working as a community organizer in 1988. Joining Trinity was in some part, as Reverend Wright agrees, a political decision on Barack's part because it was such a prominent congregation. But at the same time, Barack is in no way responsible for the 3 or 4 most, outrageous or stupid things that Reverend Wright happened to say over the years. I think on balance, Reverend Wright has had a great life, built a great church that has done a huge amount of wonderful things for people on the South Side. And that more than counterbalances some of his really offensive, outrageous, off-the-cuff comments.
He is David Garrow. He's a historian. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner for, I think it was for a biography you did on Martin Luther King Jr., right?
Yes, Bearing the Cross.
Pulitzer Prize winner, Bearing the Cross, is Martin Luther King Jr. The new book on Barack Obama, Rising Star, The Making of Barack Obama. Mr. Garrow, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the book.
Thank you so much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Barclays to pay a $97 million settlement. The Speaker of the House hits the road for tax reform, and reports due out on mortgage rates and producer prices. Those stories next.
Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours. And they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929.
Barclays has agreed to pay a $97 million settlement based on overbilling its brokerage clients. The London-based firm was charged by the SEC with assessing over $48 million in fees for services it never provided to clients. House Speaker Paul Ryan visits Central Ohio today to highlight Congress's reform plans. He'll tour 2 businesses now involved in tax disputes and join a business roundtable with local officials. Economic reports ahead today include Freddie Mac's update on weekly mortgage rates and the April Producer Price Index. Macy's is also the latest company to report its quarterly financial results. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Oh, we've got a great story coming up. Steve Harvey's list of demands. Note to staff: don't you look at me if I'm not talking to you.
And Amy sings "Oh Sheila."
Yeah, but first, we want to tell you about Turnkey IT. How would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware and software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, Turnkey IT can do all that, from installation to cloud backup. It's really like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians who are there for you, working in the background to make sure your systems are up and running. They'll help you over the phone or make house calls to your workplace, emergency call. They're there 24/7, 365 days a year. Here's what you do. Visit turnkey.pro for more information. That's turnkey.pro.
For half a century, Schrank's Smoke & Gun has been the firearm store generations of customers trust. And during the month of May, Schrank's is offering an excellent concealed carry pistol at an amazing price. All new Sky 9mm 10-round pistols are on sale for only $239. Schrank's has Lake County's largest selection of new, used, and consignment pistols, rifles, shotguns, and an impressive variety of ammo. Over 700 firearms in stock, including a huge selection of AR rifles from Colt, Smith & Wesson, Civilian Force Arms, and many more. Even collectibles, older hunting rifles, plus full gunsmith services. And you can get all of your favorite cigars at Schrank's. So drive north to avoid the Cook County taxes and don't miss the $239 sale on Sky 9mm pistols. Perfect for concealed carry all through May. Visit smoke.gun.org or call 847-662-4034 for directions. Schrank's Smoke & Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
AM 560. The Answer.
Sheila,
let me love you till I get it right.
So they were dating and living together when this song came out, but those two cats were crazy together.
You know who's saying, right? You know who's saying, "Oh, Sheila, let's test your 80s knowledge."
Oh, for her.
One-hit wonder. One-hit wonder. Who's got it?
Can I
Who's
have a
got
ball?
it?
Can I have a ball?
Who's got it?
Can I have a concert? Can I give me something? Thanks to me.
I love that. These guys were like a poor man's New Edition.
Oh, what are they? Tell me.
Ready for the world.
Ready for the. That was the name of the group.
Yeah.
Definitely one-hit wonders.
When it comes to 80s music knowledge, this gentleman has no peer. Remember that.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk about Comey's departure from former U.S. attorney who actually defends him, Matthew Whitaker, at 7:07.
And later, a list of demands from Steve Harvey. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, the Chicago FBI chief may be in the running for the interim FBI director's position. Possible prank call causes a lockdown at a Chicago school. White Sox and Twins were rained down in Chicago while the Cubs lost to the Rockies. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The White House defending the firing of FBI Director James Comey for a third day and pushing back on Democrats criticizing the new Deputy Attorney General who recommended it.
You've had Democrats just confirm this man 94-6 in the United States Senate 2 short weeks ago, and now some are calling into question his credibility, which is really a shame.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, echoing a presidential tweet about hypocrisy. But Democrats still say this is really about the Russia probe. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Lisa, Democratic Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz says Comey's ouster smacks of cover-up.
A president who is intentionally trying to prevent the truth from coming out.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says there's no evidence President Trump colluded with the Russians.
Let's make sure that there's no innuendo improperly being made here.
As Democrats continue calls for a special prosecutor, acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe is going before a Senate committee today, where it's expected the Russia probe will come up, as well as the abrupt dismissal of his former boss. Lisa.
Thanks, Rachel. That hearing was scheduled originally to focus on worldwide threats. Larger electronic devices may soon be banned on flights from more countries. Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers with this live.
Lisa, the first ban on laptops on commercial aircraft in March affected flights originating from airports in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Now, the expansion could include some European countries as well. That ban requires laptops to be put in checked luggage, and passengers are only allowed no device smaller or larger rather than a cell phone in the cabin with them. The expansion could affect the United Airlines, Delta, American Airlines too. Part of the discussion, how to make sure lithium batteries in a lot of those devices stored in airplane holes don't explode in midair. Lisa.
Thanks, Tanya. Officials stressing, though, at this point, no final decision on an expansion has been made. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
49 degrees, cloudy skies. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. The chief of the FBI's office here in Chicago in the running to become the temporary head of that agency. Michael Anderson is among 4 veteran law enforcement and intelligence officials being interviewed to serve as interim FBI director until a permanent one is named. Republicans cut short an attempt by Senate Democrats in Springfield to recharge that old grand bargain budget compromise, with time running out on the May legislative session. The bargain's part of a package of legislation Senate leaders designed last winter to try and break a 2-year-long jam on budget spending. Democrat President John Cullerton says he can't compromise further. Republican leader Christine Radogno of Lamont says he has to, and the sides are close. Meantime, the Senate is sending to the governor a bill to expand insurance coverage for abortions. AM 560's David Stewart tells us Governor Rauner is likely to offer a veto.
The legislation ensures that if Roe v. Wade were ever overturned, abortion would still be legal in Illinois. The bill also expands insurance coverage for abortions to include state employees and women on Medicaid. The Senate sponsor is Heather Staines of Chicago.
It's not our place here in this chamber to decide when it's appropriate for a woman to decide whether or not she should get an abortion.
The governor has said he'd veto the bill, even though he supported coverage expansion during the campaign. The vote margins in both chambers, though, are short of override levels. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Authorities believe a prank call may have put a school on lockdown on Chicago's South Side. Police say the incident happened yesterday after they received a report that 2 students had guns at the DuSable Leadership Academy. No weapons were found. The school was reopened. 3 Illinois football players are facing charges of home invasion and armed robbery. Darda Lee, Zarian Holcomb, and Howard Watkins were arrested connected with an incident at the University dorm Bromley Hall. Lee and Holcomb were already suspended from football activities. Illini coach Lovie Smith suspended Watkins indefinitely. Rockies blanked the Cubs at Coors Field 3-0. Yesterday's game between the Twins and White Sox rained out. The news service of Napa Auto Parts. Right now, when you buy brake pads or rotors at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, you can get up to $50 back by mail. So, if you hear that screeching sound when you stop, it's your car telling you it's time to head to Napa to get up to $50 back by mail when you buy select Napa brakes. That's Napa know-how. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Nielsen Enterprises in Lake Villa. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
When smart businesses need to grow their team, they do it on the site proven to deliver, Indeed.com. According to an independent study, Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, more hires than the rest combined. And right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing in relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
7:06. Let's check our roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Pike 8094 has heavy roadwork delays westbound from I-65 to Burr. Eastbound, it's a bit slow from Ripley to the Indiana Toll Road. The Edens runs 27 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 21. The Kennedy, 34 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 15 from Montrose, 16 on the Express. The on-ramp from Division is closed with a crash. Outbound 36 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour. Thorndale to the post office, 47 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 42 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 36 minutes from 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays are from Southwest Highway to the Bylong Bridge. From the Stevenson to the Eisenhower, the crash in the left lane, and then St. Charles to North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But first, your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy, high 60. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 44. Tomorrow, sun and some clouds, high 64. At night, it will be clear to partly cloudy with a low 45. A blend of sun and clouds Saturday, high 73. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
50 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by My Parts Garage. Check out all the DIY auto repair videos at mypartsgarage.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the Washington Post is reporting that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein threatened to quit just a couple weeks after being confirmed, and after writing that memo yesterday explaining Comey's dismissal over the White House narrative. By the way, Rosenstein, I don't know if you watch Billions, Amy. Do you watch Billions?
I do not.
He looks kind of like not the Paul Giamatti character.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a Poindexter who becomes the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District, and he kind of looks like that guy.
He looks like him?
Yeah. I just noticed that. Anyway, the White House narrative was being prosecuted yesterday, but not by Spicy.
No.
He's been sidelined.
He has, and there's a woman named Sarah Huckabee Sanders, 34 years old. She's
a surrogate for the
right.
campaign.
She's trying out for the position, and they asked her, did President Trump direct Rosenstein to write Comey's memo?
Yes or no? Did the president direct Rod Rosenstein to write this memo on James Comey?
No, the president had lost, again, like I said, he'd lost confidence in Director Comey. And frankly, he'd been considering letting Director Comey go since the day he was elected. But he did have a conversation with the Deputy Attorney General on Monday where they had come to him to express their concerns. The president asked that they put those concerns and their recommendation in writing, which is the letter that you guys have received.
Okay, so that was, fair, clearing the air.
It also supports the contention that Susan Collins made, Senator from Maine, essentially that, in terms of the timing of this, you have to understand that Department of Justice personnel have just kind of been put in place at the leadership level. You took a while to confirm Sessions as Attorney General, and then Rosenstein just confirmed by 94-6 vote, oh, by the way, just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and then, so this is her, they trotted her out over the weekend. And it was strange because she had a personal moment at a very important time in our nation's history.
Later in the evening, he also spoke to Senator Bob Corker, chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations. In addition to all of the big news happening at the White House today, it is also my daughter Scarlett's 5th birthday. And since I'm here and you guys aren't, I get to wish Scarlett a happy birthday. And with that, I think her first birthday wish would probably be that you guys are incredibly nice. And now I will take your questions. Allie.
Ma, I made it! Top of the world!
Hi, Dad. Look, I'm up here behind the lectern. It was very strange.
I'll tell you,
Working mom everywhere has went, what?
Jimmy Cagney's got nothing on Sarah Huckabee Sanders. For more on this, any birthday wishes he has as well, we'll take. We're pleased to be joined by Matthew Whitaker, who's a former U.S. attorney and executive director of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. Mr. Whitaker, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Yep, glad to be with you. And all my family's birthdays are in the fall and winter. So
okay, we'll have you back then. We'll have you back in the fall then. Here's what I'm looking for, and I don't seem to be able to find a Republican or Democrat who, even if they have respect for Jim Comey, will actually defend his performance such that he was improperly dismissed because he performed his job well. I have yet to hear somebody say that.
And you're not going to. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt if you watch the arc of Jim Comey's public performance. And I do think he was a good director in the non-public part of his job. But, you know, between the Hillary Clinton email server fiasco that wasn't, and then, I mean, who knows? Everybody was forming against him simultaneously.
Right.
And then, you know, sort of this Russia probe where it just keeps expanding, even though there's really not a lot of there. I think he had a very poor grade as he's heading, you know, about halfway through his term. And you know, I not only did I serve with Jim Comey, Rod Rosenstein and I were U.S. attorneys together. He was in Maryland and I was in Iowa, and so I know Rod. And you know, it's kind of interesting, I guess, from my perspective. And this is my gratuitous plug here. Is that, you know, I had to watch one friend at the DAG position, you know, essentially build a case and fire another friend as the FBI director,
right.
And knowing that whoever the next FBI director is probably going to be somebody that I know well.
Which character on Billions do you look like?
I don't think they have any, you know, big, rugged former ex-football players that, you know, kind of kick a lot of butt. So
yeah, that's true.
There are
okay, all right.
All right, so this morning, Jake Tapper on CNN had this exclusive, allegedly, saying that two of his sources said that Comey was let go because, one, he never gave his loyalty to President Trump. You know, he didn't go kiss the ring. And two, that the FBI investigation was accelerating, that Comey had allegedly asked for more resources a week before his firing.
You know, I think the reason that Jim Comey got fired was, the bottom line is that as soon as Rod got into DAG, the Deputy Attorney General, and you had Sessions in at AG, FBI does report through that chain of command, and they just lost confidence in Jim, whether he was too independent, whether he was going off the script, whether he wasn't following the tradition and protocols of the Department of Justice. I just think that the key players at DOJ lost confidence in Jim and communicated the same thing to the president. And you know, the president has been all over the board as it related to the FBI director. I mean, he embraced him at one point in time in the White House, and he's also, you know, criticized him off and on through the campaign and into his tenure as president. So, I mean, this is classic Donald Trump, where you sort of kind of, it's a day to day, and I would assume that working for him, you just really never know where you stand. You know, I thought one of the things that you guys probably noticed was the gratuitous nature in the termination letter, where President Trump said that Mr. Comey had given him 3 different occasions where he said he wasn't under investigation.
Right. Yeah. That was interesting. Yeah, I really appreciate that on the way out. That was kind of interesting. Now, by the way, just on that story that was bandied about by the New York Times yesterday, that Comey had requested more money for the Russian probe before he was terminated, that is denied by a spokesman for the Department of Justice. So that the truth of that is in controversy, apparently. As a former U.S. attorney, Matthew, what's the profile of an FBI director that you think would be appropriate, particularly coming in on the heels of all of this all of the political firestorm.
I think there's two different directions they could go, and one direction that I hope they don't go. The direction I hope they don't go is what I would call a celebrity FBI director. Somebody that's well known. Chris Christie, who I served with as U.S. attorneys as well, is probably a name that's been on the list that I think would be probably the wrong direction. That being said, you have people that former high-placed Bush officials like Ken Weinstein, who opened up the National Security Division at DOJ, would be probably a frontline pick. And then you have an idea of promoting from within, looking at the various special agents in charge or those running certain divisions within the FBI and promoting them through the ranks. So there's a lot of different directions, and as I was talking about earlier, and I'm sure your listeners would agree, this president's a little unpredictable when it comes to his appointments and what type of profile he's looking for.
So would Rudy Giuliani be in the star camp that you speak of?
Yeah, I would say.
He would be a high-profile pick, and I know that they worked really. Rudy was obviously there on the campaign and worked really hard for the president, and I was surprised when they weren't able to find him a slot. He obviously was competing for Secretary of State and Attorney General, and there were good names and people that were picked ahead of him, but he's still, I think, on the sidelines looking for some place and knowing how good of a political operator he is. If he's interested in it, I'm sure he will be on the final list. It's just really, it's going to be an important pick. I heard last night I was on Fox Business, and I heard the other panelists talking about how this is a sort of a critical juncture in our nation's history. I think that's a little too much hyperbole because the FBI director, as long as they're just solid and can run the organization and instill confidence that their investigations are done thoroughly and their conclusions, especially as to what the facts are reliable, I think that's all you're really looking for. And the important work of the FBI is going to continue on no matter who the director is, and the rank and file agents and analysts and all the people that work at the FBI are just great people that I've worked with in the past, and I expect that they'll continue to do an exemplary job in those roles.
He is Matthew Whitaker, former U.S. Attorney and now Executive Director of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. Matthew, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always enjoy it. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, Maxine Waters said, what? But first, your forecast. Rather cloudy today, a high of 61 degrees. It is 56 degrees right now at O'Hare. Then tonight, partly cloudy, and tomorrow, Friday, sun and some clouds, a high of 64. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. The heaviest expressway right now is the inbound Eisenhower. Delays are from Wolf Road to downtown Chicago. It's an hour from Thorndale to the post office, 47 minutes from Manheim, outbound 42 to Thorndale. Edens is 27 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. The Kennedy, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 43. Mount Stevenson, delays start around LaGrange Road, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34th. Orion, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive has northbound delays from Soldier Field to Balbo and from Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. Tri-State slow northbound from Southwest Highway all the way to North Avenue. There's a crash at 290 in the left lane. Veterans Memorial, slow from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to Roosevelt. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And you've heard us talking about the 100 Club of Chicago, the charity we're supporting through our annual golf outing coming up on June 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club.
The 100 Club's mission is to support the families of fallen first responders, cops, firefighters, and EMTs through financial and educational assistance.
And we want to tell you about how you can join us in supporting this great organization by becoming an AM560 business benefactor.
When you purchase a foursome at our golf outing for $1,196, you will receive 25 60-second commercials to air right here on AM 560. That's a $3,000 advertising package.
You'll be reaching AM 560's large and growing audience of affluent, sophisticated decision makers with your marketing message. And at the same time, you're supporting the families of fallen first responders.
Pick up the phone right now and call Michael Mann at 847-871-1527. That's 847-871-1527, and tell him you want to become a business business benefactor. That number again, 847-871-1527.
If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof isn't right after it's stormy and shingles are curly,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Greg Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy.
For your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
I'm James Furr. I'm a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran, and I have hepatitis C. My main focus was to take care of hepatitis C. Taking Balance of Nature did other things for me. I was feeling more energetic. My mental acuity had increased. When I play golf, I would notice that bending over to line up a putt, I would have a bit of a struggle to stand back up. But even now, 10 years later, I stand up better than I did then. I will live happily with hepatitis C instead of feeling like I want to die because someone's trying to cure me of it. Thanks to Balance of Nature, I live a normal, happy, healthy, pain-free life.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560. The Answer. Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, this you want to kind of understand the Democrat position, then you go to No Justice, No Peace Maxine. She's the intellectual leader of the left, the modern left. And she was on MSNBC yesterday. And, what's this guy's name, the reporter?
Pete Alexander.
He's like the one reporter there
He's
who
cool.
actually asks legitimate questions and is like an adult. And so
even he was confused.
Well, he presented Maxine Waters with what she had said 5 minutes ago about Jim Comey prior to him being fired a week ago, and then asked Maxine if she was happy that Comey was fired, and she wasn't, and then he tried to follow the logic, and it hurt his head.
Can you tell us anything about the discussion in the group? No, it's classified, and we can't tell you anything. All I can tell you is the FBI director has no credibility.
That was Congresswoman Maxine Waters criticizing now former FBI Director James Comey after a closed briefing on Russia's interference in the U.S. election. It took place just 1 week before the president took office here at the White House. For more, I want to bring in the Congresswoman herself, Maxine Waters, who is joining me now. Congresswoman, we appreciate your time. You obviously have been very critical of James Comey in the past. You said that he had no credibility. I assume that you support the president's decision then to fire his FBI director.
No, I do not necessarily support the president's decision. If the president had not gone all over the country praising him about the way he handled Hillary and the emails, if the president said he had confidence in him, if the president had not said he was a part of his team.
But Congresswoman,
yes.
I understand that in the past he was praising him, but if you said that FBI Director James Comey had no credibility, wouldn't you support the fact that the president, then candidate Trump, now President Trump, made the decision to get rid of him?
No, not necessarily.
No.
And let me tell you why. You have an investigation going on where the president is implicated. And this is a serious investigation. I've been trying to get people to focus on this connection with the Kremlin and with Putin. I have a resolution that I introduced in February. I think there's enough there that we know about the Kremlin and about Putin to be concerned about whether or not there was collusion.
So to be clear, you think...
And I believe that they should have to connect the dots and get the facts, because I think it will lead to the impeachment of this president.
Right. So, I mean, a minor point in the context of no justice, no peace, Maxine. I mean, President Trump has not been implicated. I mean, that's really kind of being unfair to Maxine Waters because you're not supposed to take her seriously. But here's the thing.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Again, Pete Alexander follows up with her. Okay, well, if you don't agree with what Trump did, would you have agreed with it had Hillary been elected and she done it?
If she had won the White House, I believe that given what he did to her and what he tried to do, she should have fired him. Yes.
So she should have fired him, but he shouldn't have fired him. This is why I'm confused.
No, no, you're not confused. If the president is implicated in an investigation, the president of the United States, who has a history of firing people who get close to, you know, him and his allies, like Flynn and like Miss Yates, he will fire them if he believes somehow they're getting too close to him in these investigations. And so, no, I believe that the President of the United States should not have done this in the middle of an investigation.
Right. And also, she added that Russian dictator Vlad Putin should have not invaded Korea.
She meant to say
she's very upset
Crimea.
about the Russian invasion of Korea as well. So she's upset about a lot of things. Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. She is a geopolitical expert. I'm just wondering, when she flies to Guam with Hank Johnson on one of their next junkets, are they going to position themselves on opposing sides of the island so they don't tip it over?
Yeah, you don't want it to capsize. Yeah, I mean, thanks for the
They're
call.
part of the lily pad leapers.
Thanks for the call, Ralph. It's a good
That's
point.
a
and
doozy,
it's-
man.
Well, and it's nice to express concern for the physical safety and security of
Oh.
members of Congress when they're traveling internationally. So that's important as well. Now, Jim Comey did write a goodbye letter.
Oh, that's real sweet.
Yeah. It there's some excerpts. Very hard to leave a group of people who are committed only to doing the right thing.
Working with you has been one of the greatest joys of my life. Thank you for that gift.
And then he recorded a special message for us, just for us here, because of our relationship with the FBI. And,
Yeah. And we're good people.
And he wanted the Chicago Morning Answer listeners to hear his goodbye message, in his own voice.
I don't like it here. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I've decided not to stay. I doubt they'll kick up any fuss.
That was him carving Comey was here to the wall at DOJ, and now he's going to have more time to spend with Jake in the park.
Oh, that's right.
The bird that
Bird,
Comey
right.
has. John on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. The thing I'm worried about, and I think most people are worried about, isn't Comey. It's the fact that there was this pending investigation. That's what Waters, in her backwards way, was trying to say. This is the third person who was investigating Trump who's been fired. I think the way to solve it and the way that Trump can get credibility is to appoint a special prosecutor. Sessions is supposedly going to be involved in picking the new FBI director when he was supposedly recusing himself from the Russia investigation. Make it someone they can't fire and they can't push around, and I think they'll have credibility. Otherwise, I think you give up the game that really is what this was about.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I appreciate your point, John, but I don't think so. And I point to Sally Yates, one of those people who was fired, that Maxine Waters and others point to. And what did she say in her testimony on Monday about her confidence in Rod Rosenstein to oversee the Russian collusion investigation being conducted by the FBI? That she has total confidence in him, and she doesn't believe there is a need for a special prosecutor. That this kind of whole special prosecutor, independent prosecutor, as if there is such a thing. You know, the idea that they could pick somebody beyond above reproach that the Democrats would give their stamp of approval on. You know, they're going to play politics with any appointment, just as they're playing politics with this termination of a guy whose job performance they refuse to defend as well.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The great one, Steve Harvey.
Oh, yeah. I've got a list of demands. You better adhere to my demands.
We'll take them at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 49 degrees. Winds are out of the north at 8 miles an hour. In the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, it's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. The Senate Intelligence Committee subpoenaing former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn for documents related to the panel's investigation into Russian election meddling. James Comey says he'll be fine after losing his job as FBI director. In a farewell message, Comey says he will not be spending time thinking about how he was terminated. Meantime, the White House is defending the president's decision to fire James Comey.
The president lost confidence in Director Comey. The DOJ lost confidence in Director Comey. Bipartisan members of Congress made it clear that they had lost confidence in Director Comey.
In a White House briefing yesterday, spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders, acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe will be on Capitol Hill today in place of fired Director James Comey, joining other intelligence officials speaking to the Senate Intelligence Committee's annual hearing on worldwide threats. The chief of the FBI's office in Chicago is apparently in the running to become the temporary head of the agency. Michael Anderson is among 4 veteran law enforcement and intelligence names that may be interviewed to serve on an interim basis. The widow of disgraced Fox Lake police officer Joe Glinowitz will find out later today whether she will be put on trial. Melody Glinowitz will learn her fate from a Lake County judge. A North suburban Libertyville man is charged with murdering his cousin in Michigan last week. Authorities say Brian Zanetti shot and killed Frank Zanetti Friday at a tile business in Battle Creek. Brian is being held without bond in the Lake County jail. Microsoft showing some amazing technology yesterday. It is a prototype watch that can calm tremors stemming from Parkinson's disease. It's called the Emma Watch. It was highlighted yesterday at the company's annual Build conference in Seattle. The watch vibrates in a certain way that disrupts that feedback loop between the brain and hand shaking during Parkinson's episodes. It's only a prototype. The watch designers are working with neuroscientists to start trials with those suffering from the disease. Rockies blanked the Cubs 3-0 at Coors Field. Twins and White Sox rained out the news a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee. Attention, this is an investor notice. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? Then listen to this. The Government Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit, which contains 2 DVDs and a step-by-step report that will show you how to earn guaranteed returns between 15 and 35% yearly, which is completely secured by the government. They'll even show you how to do this inside your own retirement accounts. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without risk, then call 1-800-404-2219 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for pennies on the dollar and buy houses for as low as $500, all from your home with little or no money, working only 5 to 10 hours per week. Call 800-404-2219 right now to get your free tax lien kit plus 2 free tickets to a live training event and a free $20 Visa gift card just for attending. Call 800-404-2219. That's 800-404-2219 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Go to our website, GreatParkingLots.com. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
7:37. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 28. The Kennedy 36 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Make it 38. Outbound it's 43 minutes. The Eisenhower is an hour. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson now it's an hour and 8 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 43 minutes. The Rhine is 40 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State heavy southbound Washington to 120 and 137 to 176. Northbound very heavy Southwest Highway to 31st and the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of Staples. When it comes to technology, go to Staples. Staples has the latest HP and Dell PCs at low prices every day. Plus, when you buy a new PC or printer at Staples, you'll get 30 days of tech support free. See store or staples.com/tech services for details. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Cloudy ahead today. A little fog this morning and a high near 61 currently. 49 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now, and make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and I'll tell you what, this is, it's kind of eerie.
Why?
Because Steve Harvey's diktats to staff are eerily similar to mine here, to the staff here,
Yeah.
which are eerily similar to the requirements for a Hillary Clinton speech. Like, for example, you remember Hillary Clinton's speeches, like $1,250 the host must pay for a stenographer to transcribe Hillary Clinton's speech and provide it for the Clinton Foundation, which I always found, that's odd. Well, how come she can't come up with those Wall Street speeches, transcripts of them, since she had the sponsors of her speeches pay for a stenographer to transcribe them. So that was always interesting to me. But otherwise, I mean, in terms of like the proverbial green M&Ms where you throw a fit, I mean, it's like me, Hillary, and Steve Harvey.
Oh, yeah, exactly the same. Well, Steve Harvey, they're starting their 5th season, and he laid down the groundwork
Now,
of how things are going to go.
Is this Family Feud or the Steve Harvey
this
Show?
is the Steve Harvey Show, which is taped on the 3rd floor of the NBC Tower.
Is that the Steve Harvey Show, or is that Kids Do the Darndest Things?
No, this is, he's very busy. He's got his hands in a lot of different pots, a lot of balls in the air, so to speak.
Do these requirements that you're about to go through, do they apply across the Steve Harvey platform to his radio staff, plus his Kids Do the Darndest Things, plus Family Feud, plus the Steve Harvey Show?
Well, I don't know. I just know some people who work for the Steve Harvey Show, and they received this email. Not a kind of a rules and regulations. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'd like you all to review and adhere to the following notes and rules for Season 5 of My Talk Show. There will be no meeting in my dressing room. No stopping by or popping in. No one. Capital letters.
All caps, yeah.
Do
He
not
means
come.
it.
Yeah. Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not open my dressing room door. If you open my door, expect to be removed.
All caps again. He's yelling.
Yeah, do you like how I'm yelling too?
Yeah, no, it's good.
My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who have the intent to see or speak to me.
By the way, it's a killer Steve Harvey impersonation
Thank you.
you're doing.
You like
Sounds
it?
just like him.
I can't mimic him. I want all the ambushing to stop now. That includes TV staff. You must schedule an appointment. I've been taken advantage of by my lenient policy in the past. This ends now. No more. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair unless I ask to speak with you directly. Either knock or use the doorbell.
Well,
that must be one heck of a makeup room. Well, use a doorbell.
Well, I mean, look, when you're getting your face on in the morning, as I do, but I do it in the privacy of my home. I have a team there at 4 o'clock ready to get my face on for the show. But I mean, I can understand you want your privacy there.
Clearly, Steve Harvey is a little unhinged. This is the reason why he's doing it. Ready? I am seeking more free time for me throughout the day.
He needs more Steve Harvey time. He needs more me time.
Do not wait in any hallway to speak to me. I hate being ambushed. Please make an appointment. I promise you I will not entertain you in the hallway, and do not attempt to walk with me. Do not walk with me. No, don't walk with him. Are you ready? If you're reading this, yes, I mean you. Everyone, do not take offense to this new way of doing business.
No, what's to take offense to?
It is, ready for this? It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment. Thank you all, Steve Harvey.
Thank you all, plebeians, Steve Harvey. Yeah, it's
a little aggressive, maybe. Do you think he has some issues? I mean, maybe.
Well, there's Steve Harvey up here, and then there's everybody else
doesn't he have
milling about down
12
there.
children, too, on top of that? I know that he has his own private jet that he takes once he tapes. He'll tape 2 to 3 shows a day.
I don't know.
So he doesn't work 5 days a week. But he works hard, and then he does a radio show every morning, and he has a private jet that he takes from Midway back to L.A. to do the Family Feud, or to Burbank, I should say, and then flies back and forth.
Well,
I mean, he's a busy man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I mean, though,
I thought he was
the tone and tenor of this missive, it's making me rethink continuing to stock my wardrobe with those lime green 8-button Steve Harvey suits. So I don't know.
And this is making I wonder what's going to happen to the person who leaked this memo. Oh boy.
What?
I mean, he should stand behind it. It's
Well, this is. I mean, this.
But he just seems so chummy and family friendly and just a nice, approachable guy on television. I guess I've had the wrong impression of Steve Harvey.
Oh, also does a lot of pageant work. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we have that somewhere when he.
But that's why that mistake he made with Miss World or whatever it was, Miss Universe. That mistake he made. That's an example of what happens when Steve Harvey doesn't get enough Steve Harvey time, so he's not mentally sharp.
Oh.
So it's negatively impacting job performance.
You know what?
Other people.
They're actually, after the season, they're moving the show to Los Angeles. So they think somebody who's getting the boot leaked this memo because they were upset that they're getting fired or losing their job.
Yeah, but that's great because what this does is it sends a peremptory message to all future Steve Harvey staffers. So it's good to have this in the public, the public realm for people that are thinking about, seeking employment with the Steve Harvey.
What a diva. You men are making us women look good.
You have a Nick Cage story.
So when I worked at Channel 5 back in the 90s, Nicolas Cage was shooting the movie The Weatherman. Remember that movie?
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
He hasn't made. He made. I'd say. Well, you got to give him Leaving Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give him Con Air.
Okay.
I'd give him. What was the movie with David Caruso? Jade. Yeah, and Chaz Palminteri. Yeah, I think so. So I give him that movie, and then for the last decade or dozen years, he hasn't even come close to. I mean, Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. There's somebody who apparently is just kind of cashing checks and does not have a script reader.
Well, he's a little crazy. I mean, the wife that he's currently married to he has OCD, so she can't live with him. Because he'll summon her when he wants her. He's one of those guys.
Nice cover story. No. OCD. Yeah, sure you do, Nick. Yeah, I know what you're doing.
I don't want your germs.
I know what you're doing.
So he comes into Channel 5 on a Saturday morning.
Nick Cage,
because he's shooting scenes from The Weatherman. He was using the chroma key wall, on the set there.
And you were dating Edward James Olmos at the time.
No,
is that right?
No, Mario Lopez.
No, of course. Sure.
So I go to the station, And this aggressive woman is in my face. I just walk into work. I sit down at my desk and
That's
log
not a woman.
in.
That was Tia Leone.
And she was like, listen to me. She reminded me of Melissa McCarthy from that coaching spoof video, when she was a basketball coach. Because this woman was like, at no point in time do you look him in the eye. And who's here?
Who can I look at?
I'm just typing. I'm just here in between stories. Who are you? I'm one of his handlers. And at no point in time, then there was another, what was her name? Teresa. She and I were like, what's going on? Because we didn't know that anybody was shooting a movie.
Did you
with
wear your
Nicolas Cage?
The question, did you wear your bikini in the newsroom?
All the time with my big Russian furry hat. How did you know?
So.
The two-piece, yes.
Curious. So that's why you stuck out.
Yeah, I kind of stuck out. But she said at no point in time, he was going to be walking by here to go to the set. You do not look at him. You do not stand up from where you are. And I said, if I want to stand up, I'm going to stand up. Guess what? I don't care about Nicolas Cage. I don't want a picture with him. I don't want to converse with him.
You stand up when Nick Cage says you can stand up.
I mean,
you sit down when Nick Cage says you can. It's like Simon Says.
Yeah, I'd never experienced that before.
Which was also a terrible Nick Cage movie.
And then she said,
no, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman, wasn't it?
She said, and then when he gets on set, there is absolute silence in here. Turn the phones off. Do not talk amongst yourself. There was only 2 of us in the newsroom, and the assignment editor, which was about 100 yards away. Okay. Get out of my grill. Why are you up in my space, woman?
You know what you should have done?
I should have ran and gone up to Nicolas Cage. Will you sign my audit? Will you sign this autograph?
No. You should have had Allison Rosati kick her ass.
Oh, well, they weren't there because it was a weekend.
No, sure.
Oh, my God. So he walked by, and I, ducked as a joke. Like, oh, he's coming. Look, he's over there.
Yeah, and then what happened?
He did his show. He's weird. He's just weird. That's one weird dude, man.
OCD, so you can't live with me, honey. Oh, man. All right, guys, you heard it. See if you can make that work in your...
What would Dan's list of demands be? 312-642-5600.
I just have one demand.
What?
To be loved.
Oh, yeah, right.
Greg and Schomburg, you're on Chicago's
lovable.
Morning Answer.
Whew.
Amy, I know one that has got to be Dan's demands. Never send him memos. Always send him value propositions, and they will be screened, and if they don't have at least 3-syllable words in it, they will not be read. What do you think?
Well, how is that different than how anybody else behaves? I thought that's just standard operating procedure.
That's my
Greg.
point.
Yeah.
And if you really want to score points with me, you must bring Grey Poupon.
Exactly. There you go. Thanks for the call, Greg. Appreciate that. Face Off. Another Nick Cage movie with John Travolta. That was pretty good.
Was that a good one?
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good action movie.
He needs to
Face Off. That was that Jade or I think it was Jade. David Caruso. Leaving Las Vegas.
What is your list of demands? I mean, if you had 5 demands, Dan. Don't look at me when I'm talking to you.
I don't know. I'm just a Johnny Punch Clock.
Oh, really? Are you?
I'm just an average guy.
Yeah, nothing here.
Just happy to be here. I just.
You wake up every morning like I'm doing 4 hours. 4 hours of the best radio of my life.
I do the Lou Gehrig speech before I get to the show every day. Mr. Lucky over here.
Play like a champion. You touch the sign poster there.
Well, that's Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well,
Lou Gehrig.
Lou
Gehrig.
The
talking
Lou
about
Gehrig.
the Iron Horse. You're talking about Notre Dame. Bill on the north side.
How are you?
Hey.
Hey.
Nicolas Cage should run into Steve Harvey in the hallway and see who talks first.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Well, neither of them could look at each other. They'd be in
Yeah.
violation of their respective strictures.
And don't even think about walking with them. Whoa! 2 steps behind or 5 steps ahead.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I'm not at that level yet.
Okay. Well, you just let me know when you get there.
Yeah, no, I
Excuse
will.
me.
I will. You'll know.
Oh,
You'll know.
Because I'll get a memo when I come to work.
But
before you enter the studio, we have some new rules.
At a certain level of wealth or notoriety, you can't be an everyman anymore. You have to, pick out some eccentricity. Like if I do it because I'm a nobody, he's just weird. He's creepy, or he's a,
That's when we
jackass.
call security.
Right. But if Nick Cage does it, then it's eccentric. You see? Yeah.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The
The Answer.
Cloudy today, a high of 60.
I'm getting a lot of Nick Cage movies.
Really?
Honeymoon in Vegas? No. I don't care about the
Honeymoon
Flying
in
Elvis.
Vegas.
It's terrible. Moonstruck? Oh, yeah, with
Oh.
Cher. No.
I thought John Travolta was in Moonstruck.
I do have one that I will add to the list, Raising Arizona.
Oh,
that was great. Coen Brothers. That was great.
That was a good one. Forecast cloudy for today, a high of 61. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to have some sun, some clouds, and a high of 64 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Good morning. Kennedy inbound. Delays start at Nagel. It's 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound 43 to the airport. Eden's 24 minutes. Lake Hook to the Junction. Outbound 28. The Eisenhower's an hour. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 8 minutes. 3:55 to the Drive. Outbound 43 minutes. The Rhine's 40 minutes. 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Telemonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Yeah, adaptation too. Another Coen
Yeah,
Brothers
it was-
film though.
I
Well, that was the Coen Brothers. That was that's pretty good. All right, fine. Upstream-ideas.com is where you can find premium content like my reviews of Nick Cage movies, as well as podcasts of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Long-form interviews this week featuring Illinois Policy Institute CEO John Tillman talking about how we advance the economic liberty policy agenda in Illinois. Man in the Street interviews this week on CPS funding, 2-minute warnings, focusing on bad actors in public office, and my 60 seconds of sanity. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
I'm Trina Webster.
And I'm Dan Webster, founders of Z Quiet. Let me be honest, I snored.
Yeah, he did. Crazy loud.
And I was forced to sleep on the couch most nights.
Dan tried everything, including surgery, to solve his snoring problem.
Nothing worked.
So he turned to experts and created a solution that's a total game changer, a mouthpiece called Z Quiet.
Not just any mouthpiece, one that gently opens the airway where the snoring happens. In fact, it's based on the same technology as treatments costing thousands of dollars.
It allows natural jaw movement so you can talk, breathe normally, and best of all, sleep comfortably without making a sound.
And what's really cool is that it couldn't be easier. Just pop it in before you go to sleep to kick snoring out of bed.
So you can sleep quiet
with Z Quiet.
Z Quiet fits both men and women. Try it risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95. Go to getzquiet.com or text SNORE to 91011. Go to getzquiet.com or text SNORE to 91011.
Here's Jerry, Utah Hall of Fame tennis player, talking about balance of nature.
When you get to be a senior, my age, almost 77, you lose a step here, you lose a little reflex, you lose a little timing. But the thing I've noticed since I've been on Balance of Nature, I'm just as perky as ever. I don't get tired, and it's a wonderful feeling. I can play 4 and 5 hours of tennis a day, and up to that time, I couldn't do that. It's wonderful to know that every day you can get the fruits and vegetables that you need to be taking. To me, it's just marvelous.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get the best offer they've ever given. 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Me home insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-617-4432. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-617-4432. That's 1-800-617-4432. 1-800-617-4432.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-400-1841. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-400-1841. Again, that's 1-800-400-1841.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-500-5236. That's 1-800-500-5236. 1-800-500-5236.
AM 560.
The Answer. Dan and Amy, is that, oh, Mickey, you're so fine is on my mind. Is that because Nick Cage was in Valley Girl? Is that well, I'm trying to connect dots here. Our producer, Justin, always with the deep digs. Coming up at 8:08, why are Democrat officials using profanity all the time? What's with the potty mouths on Kamala Harris and Tom Perez? We'll put that question to Noah Rothman, associate editor of Commentary Magazine. At 8:08 now, we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Dan and Amy, here are the stories we're following at this hour. Chicago FBI chief apparently in the running for the interim director position. Mayor Rahm Emanuel says the city will do its part to try and keep the Chicago public schools open. Latest Illinois budget deal flopping in Springfield. White Sox and Twins were rained out in Chicago, while the Rockies blanked the Cubs in the rubber match at Coors Field. Partly cloudy today. Will top out at 61 with a low of 43 overnight. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Some of President Trump's critics still think the firing of the FBI chief is tied to the Russia probe.
All we are seeking is some assurance that the subject of this investigation is not able to influence it or, God forbid, quash it.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer calling again for a special prosecutor, while the administration denies any connection and is moving on. Fox Radio's John Decker, live at the White House.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, says the White House is intensifying its search for a new FBI director.
We need an FBI and an FBI director that is non-politicized, that is impartial,
that has the trust of those at the Bureau, the trust of people from both sides of the aisle.
Meanwhile, the acting FBI director will testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee 2 days after President Trump fired FBI Director James Comey. Andrew McCabe will testify in place of Comey and will likely be asked questions concerning the FBI's investigation into Russia's alleged involvement in the 2016 election. Lisa?
Well, John Comey speaking out for the first time in a letter to FBI employees.
Saying in part, I have long believed that a president can fire an FBI director for any reason or for no reason at all. I'm not going to spend time on the decision or the way it was executed. I hope you won't either, Comey says. It is done.
Fox's Ed Henry, Comey adding that he'll be fine, but will miss the mission. The search for a new FBI chief said to include some high-profile names.
Like Ray Kelly, the former New York City Police Commissioner. Trey Gowdy, the Republican congressman, has come up. The former Senator Kelly Ayotte.
But also several FBI insiders potentially free of any political baggage. Aetna announcing it's pulling out of healthcare exchanges in 2 more states, Delaware and Nebraska, next year. That will mark a complete exit for Aetna from Obamacare. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, gray skies and some heavy fog is also hanging around, especially along the lakefront this morning. We'll have clouds and about 50 degrees throughout the morning, warming up to the low 60s in the western suburbs later today. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. The chief of the FBI's office in Chicago in the running to become the temporary head of that agency. Michael Anderson is among 4 veteran law enforcement and intelligence officials that are being interviewed to serve on an interim basis. The widow of a disgraced former Fox Lake police officer, Joe Glinowitz, will find out later today if she'll be put on trial. Melody Glinowitz will find out her fate from a Lake County judge. Authorities saying Glinowitz staged his own 2015 suicide in order to avoid possible consequences for crimes. Glinowitz and her late husband are accused of stealing from a police youth program and then spending that money on personal expenses. Republicans cut short an attempt by Senate Democrats in Springfield to recharge that old grand bargain budget compromise. Democratic Senate President John Cullerton says he can't compromise any further on the bills. However, Republican leader Christine Radonio of Lamont says he has to, and the sides could be close. A search is underway to find the driver involved in a deadly hit and run in Wadsworth. Lake County Sheriff's Office says a man was walking along Route 41 Tuesday night when he was struck and killed near Hanson Road. Chicago sports, Rockies blanked the Cubs at Coors Field 3-0. Twins and White Sox rained out. News, a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Verizon has won a bidding war to buy Straight Path Communications for more than $3 billion. Straight Path holds licenses to use high-frequency radio waves that some engineers think could form the backbone of next-generation networks. Shares of Snap, the parent company of Snapchat, falling after Snap reported a loss of more than $2 billion in its first quarter as a publicly traded company. Adidas getting out of the golf business, selling its golf brands, TaylorMade, Adams Golf, and Ashworth, for $425 million after peaking around 2000 when Tiger Woods was in his prime. The number of people playing golf in the U.S. has really taken a hit. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
It's 8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Harvey owns a building and wants to save money by making his heating and cooling system more energy efficient.
Yes.
But Harvey's afraid of the cost and if he can get a return on his investment.
I am indeed.
Plus, he's nervous about disrupting the businesses that rent space in his building. Harvey doesn't know what to do with an HVAC system that's seen better days. The Air Comfort problem solvers to the rescue. Working as a team, the Air Comfort professionals find simple solutions that make a huge impact on building efficiency and operating costs with minimal or no disruptions to building operations. HVAC upgrades and retrofits from Air Comfort can save thousands of dollars per year. They save energy, reduce maintenance, and eliminate downtime. And buildings with better energy ratings command higher rents and selling prices and make tenants happy. Get real solutions from the Air Comfort team of problem solvers. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com and start saving money today. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
The Ready to Ride sales event is back. Gear up for summertime fun with Sea-Doo watercraft and Can-Am ATVs that are engineered to perform and excite. Stop in now. Choose your ultimate summertime adventure machine and save up to $900 on select 2016 models. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now. Visit RJ's Recreational Vehicles in West Chicago. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
8:07. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy, traffic is stop and go from Nagel to the Burn Circle. It's 43 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 28 from Montrose, 22 on the Express, outbound 39 to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 32. The Eisenhower's an hour and 5 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 46 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 49 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour and 8 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43 minutes. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown, Lakeshore Drive. Southbound very heavy, Bryn Mawr to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Marquette to 57th and Oakwood to the Stevenson. Tri-State southbound heavy 21 to 176. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st and Roosevelt much of the way to the Adams Tollway. Veterans Memorial slow. Alton to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog for the morning, otherwise a cloudy day today, high of 60. Tonight turning out to be partly cloudy with a low of 44. Then tomorrow, sun and some clouds throughout the day with a high 64. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
49 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. What up, Dan and Amy? And what is with the potty mouths of your DNC chairman, your U.S. Senator from California, your U.S. Senator from New York, Democrats? What's with all the profanity? What's with working blue? We played this before. Remember Senator Kamala Harris? She was the moderator of this little forum with Obama, former Obama flacks. Listen to Kamala Harris.
Health care is a privilege, not a right. And this is a matter of values. And so if you can pay for it, you can get it. Like this guy, this congressman, so you might as well say, Well, people don't starve because they don't have food. What the is that?
What the F is that? Ha ha ha.
What? Is this where I'm supposed to clap or laugh?
And then Kamala Harris told a dirty limerick. She was doing her Andrew Dice Clay
really?
routine. Tom Perez on the stump. He's going all over the country swearing at people. Well, swearing to people about people.
In 2018, you're not just going to say heck no, you're going to say hell no. He does not want anything branded Trump care. Well, maybe Ryan care. I'll tell you what I'd call it. I don't care, because he doesn't give a about health care. When we have the skinny budget of this president, he calls it a skinny budget. I call it something else that begins with S. And my mama taught me you shouldn't do potty talk, but I hope you don't mind, because this is a budget.
You know, it kind of sounds like Joe Walsh.
It kind of just makes me uncomfortable. It's like watching Bob Saget work dirty.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
But he even referenced that, I shouldn't use dirty words, but yet I've used dirty words. But it's just trying to push the buttons, trying to be really provocative,
Well, or is there something else afoot? Is this a strategy, or at least a tactic of Democrats? We're going to put that question to Noah Rothman, who is a associate editor for Commentary Magazine and has written a piece for Commentary Magazine, commentarymagazine.com. Shock Jock Democrats. Noah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So in your piece, you say once is sui generis, twice is a coincidence, 47 times is a campaign. So what is behind the profanity of Democrats across the board, do you think?
Well, I think it's kind of self-evident. I think they believe that this is how Donald Trump got elected, that he was not just profane, but that profanity was kind of earthy and genuine, and they're just throwing whatever they can against the wall in order to see what sticks. They have this caricature of what they believe the Republicans were in the Obama era. They believe that they were reflexively antagonistic towards any of Barack Obama's agenda, that they opposed everything and anything. Ask a Tea Party member, by the way, if Republicans opposed everything and anything as Obama threw up, and you'll get a very different answer.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that Donald Trump was a crass, profane person, an ugly person, and that resonated with a particular group of voters and made up a majority coalition. So why not just do something that they can, even if it's contrived, to appear just like that?
I'm gonna combat your authenticity by being contrived.
But I don't recall President Trump swearing during his campaign. I mean,
No,
he was
did.
crass, but
he did on the stump.
he said,
Sure
I don't
did.
give a...
Sure he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to bomb the blank out of
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and so to some extent, so it's a caricature of, you're kind of making this point, it's a caricature not just of Trump, but it's a caricature of kind of the quote-unquote working class white ethnic voters that supported Trump. This is who Tom Perez and Kamala Harris and Kristen Gillibrand think they are.
Right, and it kind of projects emphasis. It's emphatic, it's passionate, it's, as I said, contrived, but it's a display, sort of a pose that resonates with progressives who want to see the kind of passion and enthusiasm that they have for opposing this presidency, which they see as an existential threat. So they want to see that kind of passion on the part of their representatives. And again, as I wrote, this isn't really a new tactic. It's something that's been done before. I guess the earliest that I could find was an example where former Iowa Senator Tom Harkin was on the stump in the late 80s, attacking the George H.W. Bush Reagan agenda economically by calling it BS. And that resonated with only the people who heard it. And he kind of miscalculated because at that time, there weren't a lot of media outlets that could print or broadcast something like that. They were regulated for decency. Well, the calculation has changed now. So it's a smaller audience, a niche audience that they're reaching with this message, but it's getting out there.
Do you think that part of it is like they're trying to, they're largely cream puffs and they're trying to project toughness, and they think this is a way to do it?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's appropriate. It's very much an ass act.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody's really fooled by it, but people who want to hear this sort of thing as passion hear it as passion. So I think it resonates with their audience. It just happens to be a dumbing down and a coarsening of the culture that I don't think anybody should welcome. But
no.
who's to say whether it's not going to be effective?
So do you think we'll ever go back to a well-mannered civil society when it comes to politicians out there?
Well, I mean, it just depends on. I mean, imagine the world in which Mitt Romney was elected to the presidency, right? I mean, here's a guy who doesn't drink coffee because of it's a
stimulant
effects on the brain. We have in the past, in the very recent past, elevated figures of decency and decorum to positions of high authority. So I don't think it's a time that's past necessarily, but it's just certainly not the day we're living in now.
Yeah, well, you think Ann Romney was above dropping an F-bomb? Come on.
Yeah,
no,
please.
I'm kidding, obviously.
She displays poise and grace.
Yeah, I know. It is really interesting, but it doesn't speak to kind of a desperation that you think you're going to F-bomb your way back to a majority?
I think it's incredibly condescending. I think if they're doing what I believe they're doing, which is seeking to appeal to a particular demographic by saying, I'm just like you, I curse and swear, and I'm crass and crude, and this is the kind of thing that you want, so doggone it, why don't you just vote for me, you idiot? I think that's what they're saying, essentially.
But it goes against what Michelle Obama said. They go low, we go high.
Yeah,
huh?
right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not going low. They're not going high anymore. We're going bottom of the barrel. But that's what people want on the progressive side of the aisle. They really do want to see this kind of passion, and they're not sure how to project it by doing the kind of standard civic things that you would do to obstruct an agenda in Congress. I mean, that alone is a kind of a decorum and a sense of propriety that is not acceptable in this new era in which we are in the midst of creeping fascism. You have to be exuberant. You have to be emphatic. You have to be crazed, manic in the pursuit of Republican values.
Well, it's funny.
So that's what they want.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because they think that the fact they think that George Carlin's magic words are going to have some vast currency among the body politic. It speaks to their intellectual vacuity. It also speaks, as you were saying, to that elitism that you think if somebody didn't go to Harvard, that this is how they speak or this is how they entertain someone who does. And so, I mean, what they're actually doing is reinforcing the reason that people discarded Hillary Clinton and all of the elites around her.
Yeah, I think that's entirely possible. I'm not sure what that says about Hillary Clinton because she was a much more robotic figure. And perhaps this is a response to that kind of contrivance, that kind of caution that was displayed by the Clinton campaign, running everything through 37 filters before it reached the public. Perhaps they want to see that as authenticity, as you said. And,
right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, Noah, since you've been studying these, shock jock Democrats, what's the worst thing that you've heard?
Oh, the Gillibrand interview in the New Yorker magazine, I believe it was really over the top. The amount of times that she appealed to four-letter words was so much of an obvious attempt to do something shocking and edgy that it got really stale and obnoxious after a little bit. Once or twice, it's kind of edgy and it works. I want to say it works almost, even though I lament the degradation of the culture that it represents. It's nevertheless an effective political device. When you're using it 3, 4, 5 times with associated varieties of swears that are of various levels of offense, it's obviously what your campaign. It's obvious what you're trying to do, and I think people see through that.
Totally. I mean, it's like comedians. I mean, if a comedian is just every other word is the F-bomb, it becomes tiresome, right?
It's a crutch.
Yeah,
it's
totally a crutch. Totally a crutch. I mean, like one of the really funny comedians who packs everywhere he goes, Brian Regan, and it's all family oriented. It's all just observational humor, and he's not alone. But there's no profanity at all in his act. People love it. So I mean, and by the way, kind of that Trump demographic they think is their path to a majority too. It's just it's so funny how, as you pointed out, Noah, just how little consideration and little respect that people who think this is the path have for people they're trying to attract. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not a prude here.
Me neither.
I've worked in some rather salty environments. I spent a lot of time in radio, and behind the radio, as I'm sure you know, people speak like people speak, and that's not something that is not genuine. It's honest, and it's the way people interact. But what we're seeing here is a campaign which I believe was something that you can't see this as happening as often as it's happening without seeing that there's some sort of direction behind it. And if there is direction, if there is a plan involved here, and this is how they believe they're going to reach their voters they lost, it suggests that they really don't think very highly of their voters.
Well, keep it clean over at Commentary Magazine, all right? Noah Rothman, the associate editor for Commentary Magazine, the piece, Shock Jock Democrats, worth a read. Noah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate that.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, my goodness. It's come to this. No Mother's Day gifts are being made at one grade school. We'll tell you why. That's upsetting. But first, here's your forecast. Cloudy, high 61 degrees tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 43. And for your Friday, we're going to have some sun, some clouds, a high of 64. Let's go into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. I Ubered my son's backpack in. How's the inbound Kennedy doing?
Amy, it's actually not too bad this morning. That's an expensive backpack on the Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. He'll pay, though, Jim. Oh, he'll pay.
Lots of chores coming from Peyton and Eli. Amy, the inbound Kennedy's not bad right now, so it may not take too long. Right now, it's a 41-minute drive from O'Hare to downtown. The delays kick in at Nagel. The express lanes will save about 3 or 4 minutes. Outbound, 39 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 32. The Eisenhower's an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 49 minutes. Stevenson an hour. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. The Ryan's 40 minutes. 95th to downtown. The Tri-State, it's heavy southbound 120 to 137. Northbound very slow from 95th to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. And it's slow approaching the Adams Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, if you own a business or make the marketing decisions for your company, then you should listen up right now. If you become a business benefactor and join us for a day of golf, we will give you 25 60-second commercials. What is she talking about? I am talking about our annual golf outing. This year we've paired up with the 100 Club of Chicago. It is Thursday, June 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. You know, the 100 Club's mission is to provide financial and education assistance to families of fallen first responders. And here's how you can support this great cause. Play a great game of golf and become an AM 560 business benefactor. A foursome is $1,196. And again, we'll give you, as a way of saying thanks, 25 one-minute commercials that will air right here. And it's a great way to reach out to AM 560's affluence, the sophisticated audience of decision makers. And at the same time, you'll be helping the great work of the 100 Club. How do I sign up? Well, pick up the phone and call Michael Mann right now at 847-871-1527. Oh, did I mention that it's a $3,000 value for just $1,196? Did I? 847-871-1527. Enjoy a great day of golf, support a great charity, and reach new customers when you become a business benefactor. 847-871-1527.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Hey, let's be honest. Has Mother's Day slipped your mind? The irony is that Mom would never forget you. She deserves a little effort. one that includes a visit to M.J. Miller and Company. Consider a locket, charm bracelet, or piece of mother's jewelry containing the birthstones of her children or grandchildren, or browse their boutique dedicated to the whimsical world of Mackenzie Childs. Visit M.J. Miller in Barrington or online at mjmillerjewelers.com and see one of the largest selections of jewelry and giftware in the Midwest. Still struggling for ideas? Then attend one of two free events taking place May 12th and May 13th featuring a major jewelry designer. Call 847-381-7900. For details, M.J. Miller is located at 123 West Main Street in downtown Barrington. They're open Monday through Thursday until 6, Saturday until 5, and every Thursday evening until 8. M.J. Miller and Company, your trusted family jeweler.
Hey, you hear me talk about MyPillow all the time, but that's because a good night's sleep is so important to our health and mental well-being. For the month of May, you can still receive the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, all for the price of 1. You can move the patented fill to give you the support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. And our good friend Mike Lindell makes them right here in America, using only American labor. So you can wash and dry your MyPillow, and they're hypoallergenic if you have allergies. And, of course, you get the 10-year warranty with a 60-day money-back guarantee. For May, get the 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Napa know-how.
That's not heavy metal music or the sound of a stray cat fight. It's your car's not-so-subtle way of saying, head to Napa for new brake pads and rotors and get up to a $50 rebate by mail. So don't confuse for anything other than new brakes and $50 back by mail. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 5/31/17.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Maxim Power Sports in Merrillville. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560.
Do we have time for the story?
No, we'll do it after Regnery.
Well, that makes me sad.
I know. Well, you can be sad
What are you
after.
getting me for Mother's Day?
You can be sad at 8:45, but at 8:38 we have to talk to Alfred Regnery. He's the chairman of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund and a former DOJ official during the Reagan administration, about sanctuary cities and how they enable criminals. That's at 8:38, and then Amy.
And then a Mother's Day no more for kiddies at one elementary school, and I'll tell my Mother's Day story.
And we'll all cry.
But first, into the newsroom we go. A great dad. Here's Mike Scott.
49 degrees. There's some fog in the area, clouds in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. Acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe is testifying at a Senate hearing this morning in place of James Comey, fired from his job as FBI Director earlier this week. Sources say the former FBI Director was looking to beef up staffing in his Russian meddling probe right before his dismissal last week. A ban on laptops in airline cabins may soon be extending to flights from Europe. An announcement from the Department of Homeland Security is expected soon. Tesla taking orders this morning for its new solar roof. The company says it will cost the typical homeowner about $22 a square foot to replace their current roof with a new solar version. The widow of disgraced Fox Lake police officer Joe Glenowitz will find out today whether she will be put on trial. Melody Glenowitz will learn her fate from a Lake County judge. The Illinois High School Association is postponing the bass fishing state finals because of high water levels. Sounds weird, but it's true, and it's happened before. The competition was set to take place May 19 and 20 at Carlisle Lake in southern Illinois and Carlisle. The new dates have not been set. It's not the first time the IHSA has had to postpone the tournament. It was pushed back in 2011 and 2013 when storms produced high water levels. 3 Illinois football players are facing charges of home invasion and armed robbery. The trio were arrested in connection with an incident at a university dorm, Bromley Hall. Illini coach Lovie Smith has suspended one of those players indefinitely. And believe it or not, this morning, Southern Comfort doesn't contain whiskey, but it soon will. The new owners of the liquor brand says whiskey will be an ingredient when the new formula for Southern Comfort is rolled out in July. New York Times says the label and bottle are also being redesigned and flavored versions like caramel Comfort are going away. Rockies blanked the Cubs 3-0. Twins and White Sox rained out. The news a service of Staples. When it comes to technology, go to Staples. Staples has the latest HP and Dell PCs at low prices every day. Plus, when you buy a new PC or printer at Staples, you will get 30 days of tech support free. See store or staples.com/tech services for details. Staples, it's pro time. 8:32, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560, The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Growing up, your parents took care of your every need. Now you may be providing care for them. Are you worried about mom and dad living alone? Are they getting more forgetful or need help with daily activities? Why not consider a lifestyle that provides support services so they can enjoy as much independence as possible and maintain quality of life? Arborea of Long Grove is an all-new assisted living and memory care community, offering respectful assistance with activities of daily living and specialized memory care. The community features classically designed residential spaces, gracious hospitality services, amenities, and courteous, highly skilled staff to meet every need. Arborea of Long Grove is situated on 10 wooded and lushly landscaped acres off Route 53 in Long Grove. It's a vibrant yet peaceful environment filled with good neighbors, great social activities, and the finest in care. Schedule a tour today. Call 866-239-9601 or visit arboreaoflonggrove.com. That's arboreaoflonggrove.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Dennis Prager here. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants, get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Well, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Naruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Naruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants bring. Everyone is different. Don't settle for mass-produced implants. Did you know that there is a difference in quality of the actual implant itself? Some are made to last, and some aren't. Is your doctor being honest with you?
This is Dr. Naruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics 630-632-7400 or just remember implantsforme.com.
8:34. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Like the Edens Expressway is heavy outbound from Montrose to Willow Road. It's 34 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound now followed at 19. Kennedy now 51 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 41 from Montrose. 33 in the Express. Outbound 36 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 49 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour, 3:55 to the drive, how about 40 minutes? The Ryan 40 minutes, 95 to downtown. On the Tri-State, Still a little bit heavy southbound approaching 137. Northbound, it is stop and go from the 83rd Street toll to 31st, and from the Reagan tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams, Reagan, both okay. Veterans Memorial, stop and go northbound, 63rd to the Reagan tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. Southbound heavy North Avenue to St. Charles. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Rather cloudy today, high 61, a little fog burning off this morning, partly cloudy and 43 overnight. Sun and clouds tomorrow, high 64. Currently 49. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Bolingbrook Golf Club. For tee times and more, visit BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Hey, don't be caught without the facts. Listen to me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. On the matter of sanctuary cities, of course, Chicago being one, Cook County being a sanctuary county. The state of Illinois moving to become a sanctuary state, and of course, sanctuary campuses, sanctuary this and sanctuary that.
Sanctuary restaurants.
Sanctuary restaurants.
Free ones.
We're not going to comply, work with, facilitate federal law enforcement. Such an interesting position for duly elected officials sworn to uphold the Constitution to take, but that's exactly what's happened in several hundred cities around the country. And it's not just the high-profile cases that we've talked about, the Kate Steinleys, that rape case in that high school in Maryland. There's so many individual cases, and and you've had the family members of victims testify before Congress. Trump has elevated and amplified their stories. He included one gentleman at his first address. Right, back in January.
State of the Union. Well, it wasn't State of the Union.
Yeah, but effectively that, correct. And but I mean, I remember just over the last couple of years when former ICE director Sarah Saldana would go testify before Congress, and the exchanges she had with Senator Ted Cruz.
Oh, they're classics.
You're talking about tens of thousands of persons they know are violent criminals, committed felonies in addition to being in this country legally, that are released. We're talking about murders and rapes and assaults and DUIs and released. And this continues to be my personal bugaboo on the topic. You want to talk about immigration reform, and you want to talk about people who are seeking asylum, and you want to talk about H-1B visas and the rest of it. It is impossible to talk about reconceiving our immigration legal regime if you cannot do, being the federal government, what everybody says they want to see happen, which is persons that are violent felons to be removed from this country, sent back to wherever they came from. If you can't achieve that, then how do you expect anybody to contemplate anything else you want to do in terms of reconceiving immigration policy in this country? I just don't think Dems have a particularly good response on that, nor do some of the kind of Gang of A-type Republicans. For more on this topic, per an op-ed he and a colleague penned in the Philly Inquirer, Sanctuary Cities Enable Criminals. This is Stephen Thayer, who was a U.S. Attorney for New Hampshire by Reagan and Justice on the Supreme Court of New Hampshire, and Alfred Regnery, who is the chairman of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund and served in the Department of Justice under President Reagan. Mr. Regnery joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Glad to be with you.
So the title of the piece, as I said, Sanctuary Cities Enable Criminals. The Attorney General Sessions has moved on and indicated he's going to move on sanctuary cities. It's an open question if other federal agencies will follow suit, or if the Republican Congress and President Trump are going to back up their tough talk with tough action as it pertains to funding in particular. Is that the way forward, do you think, in terms of trying to chasten sanctuary cities and those political elites, is to use the power of the purse?
Well, it's one way to do it. There are limits. I mean, the federal government can't simply cut off all the money that goes to the city of Chicago,
Right.
Because it doesn't like what it's doing. That's unconstitutional. But it's in some cases they can, and it may be effective. Money talks, of course. It's really a matter of common sense. I mean, you mentioned the statistics and where it is, and talk to the victims. You know, that is the place where the rubber meets the road, if you will. As you said, there are thousands of cases of victimization committed by people that shouldn't be in this country, and the statistics are pretty clear that a few people commit most of the crimes. I mean, the immigrants don't have a higher crime rate than people that aren't immigrants. I mean, we don't really know the statistics. The research isn't particularly good, but across the board, it's pretty clear that usually when the research is done, they find that, say, 5 or 6% of the population commits 85-90% of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've got a horrible murder rate in Chicago, and my guess is that if the police were able to round up 100 people in those neighborhoods where you have high murder rates and lock them up, you'd probably see your murder rate fall dramatically.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it's the same with immigrants. I mean, most immigrants are perfectly law-abiding citizens. They have jobs. They want to earn a living. They want to raise their families just like the rest of us. But there are a few of them, and that's what happens is when one of these people is picked up, and he does have a criminal record of an immigrant, particularly illegals. The Department of Homeland Security asks the city to detain him for 48 hours so they can figure out what to do with him and deport him if they have to. That's where the sanctuary cities issue comes in. That they say, no, we're not going to abide by your request to detain him. The federal government can't demand that they do it. It's really just a request. It's up to the city. So if they let one of these people go, which happens again and again, these are people primarily who are those 5 or 6% who are committing most of the crime. So, you know, you may have a guy that is let out who's going to commit 4 or 5 crimes before he gets picked up again. And that's what drives the crime rate to where it is.
Well, how many illegals do you think commit crimes in other places and then go to hide in sanctuary cities?
I have no idea, and I don't think anybody else knows either. I mean, it would just be common sense that, say, somebody's making his living committing robberies on the street. It's the easiest crime to commit. It's the hardest to solve. If he knows he's going to get picked up and released, I mean, I would, if I were doing it, I would go to a place where they would release me rather than detain me and ship me back to where I came from. That would, I mean, I think they're probably smart enough to figure that out.
And in your piece in the Philadelphia Inquirer, you cite a report from Department of Homeland Security that in just one 3-week period in February, 245 immigrants were released from custody despite requests from DHS that they be detained. A former law professor at John Jay College analyzed the ICE data, finding 45 of those crimes were extremely serious, including homicide, rape, robbery, burglary, aggravated assault. More than 200 were less serious crimes, but included possession of illegal weapons, domestic violence, and sexual assault. It's this kind of story, or this kind of anecdote, snapshot, that just has people scratching their head. Wait, if I'm accused of any of those crimes, I'm not going to be why are they being released in the first place, even before you get to the DHS detainer for deportation?
Well, and we don't know that. Some of them may not have been. Some of them may be in the system. They may be detained in the detention center waiting for trial. They may have been. Their cases may have been pled. Who knows? That we don't know that. All we do know is that there were these 245 people in that 3-week period who were released against the request of DHS that did have some kind of a criminal record. So, and as you say, those people committed 245 crimes. So if you extrapolate that to the whole year, there are 4,000 or 5,000 of those crimes, presumably, if that is a representative time,
right,
that were committed. And there are probably actually a lot more than that, because for every arrest, there's usually 5 or 6 crimes committed. So, nobody really knows that. They're just looking at your statistics in Chicago, I think about 30% of your murders are actually closed. That means that they actually caught the perpetrator and they tried him or whatever, he's in prison. Oh, that's only a third of them. So there's 2/3 of those people that were murdered still running around in Chicago. I mean, these are not people that have a job and they decide to go out one day and murder somebody and then go back to work. No.
Right.
These are full-time career criminals.
Right.
That's what they do all day long. So, again, it's that the recidivism rate, I think, is the thing that you have to think about first. These are the people that are causing the problem and who should be deported.
Well, so knowing all of this, I mean, does it surprise you that Democratic politicians are still pulling for sanctuary cities? Because you know the only reason why they're doing it is for the vote, right?
If you know the way liberals think, no, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it probably makes them feel good. And then there's always the question, are they pandering to a community that's going to vote for it? And, that's sort of a politically incorrect thing to say, but I've been accused of that before. And that's the way it is. I mean, Hispanics have a tendency to vote for Democrats, and Democrats need the votes. And so that's certainly a piece of it.
Yeah, and it seems to me part of the messaging in should be forget what the Democrats are saying in this binary. It's just talking to these communities. Say, well, who wants criminals? Who wants predators released back into their neighborhood? Nobody.
Nobody does.
That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Talk to the victims.
Yeah, right.
It's going to destroy your day, and a lot more than that, depending what happens. But I guess there are a few enough crime victims who don't speak out as compared to the larger population who were voters that you add it all up, and that's where it comes down.
How important, I should say, do you think that that office for victims that Trump announced he was creating within DHS, is that just window dressing, or is that a real thing?
Well, it's probably more window dressing than anything else. It always takes a long time for something like that to get up and running. It sounds good. Probably help a few people, but, who knows? The federal government doesn't have a great record of doing things very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, what we really need to help people is to enforce the fracking law, obviously. All right,
Get a few people off the street makes a big difference.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Go to any neighborhood and ask a cop that is in that neighborhood, how many people in this neighborhood do you have to get out of here to drop the crime rate? He'll tell you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
no, but they did. Remember, our superintendent Eddie Johnson came out and said there's 56 people that
1,500 people.
Oh, sorry, that we know are going to commit a crime.
Are either going to be murdered or they're going to murder. And you're talking about 800 murders, 4,300 shootings last year in Chicago. And you're right, Mr. Regnery. That's exactly what our police superintendent said. There's 1,500 people we know that are essentially the main culprits and going to represent some of the victims, a great proportion of the victims as well. So, this is it. It's that small subset, but you have to be serious about interdiction with that small subset.
That's right. They lock them up. And, that's one reason over the last 20 years the crime rate has gone down so much in this country is because those career criminals, those repeat offenders are in prison. And that's primarily what makes up the prison population, and that's a good thing.
He is Alfred Regnery, former Reagan DOJ official, now the chairman of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund. He, along with his colleague Stephen Thayer, former U.S. Attorney for New Hampshire under Reagan and Justice for the Supreme Court of New Hampshire, have penned this piece, Sanctuary Cities Enable Criminals. That's worth a read. Mr. Regnery, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When it comes to your home, nothing's more important than your roof. Everything underneath depends on it, right? Even if it's not leaking just yet, it's important to be proactive and repair or replace it before you have a problem. And if you're in Chicagoland, the decision on who to call is easy. You call the Champion. That's Champion Roofing. For over 3 decades, Champion Roofing has provided great service and beautiful roofs at competitive prices. It starts with the Champion expertise. Using quality materials plus the latest high-tech equipment, Champion skilled tradesmen will complete your job on time and to your satisfaction. So if a new or repaired roof is on your list this spring, don't hesitate to call the Champion of Roofing now. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Call Champion Roofing today for your free estimate, 847-673-7663, or visit championroofing.com. That's 847-673-7663, or online at championroofing.com. 847-673-7663.
Hey, looking to secure finance? Hi. On a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to do what I did and call David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pro Mortgage. Tim, 54, divorced police officer, score 646, living in a $320,000 home in Frankfurt. Called to refinance his ex-wife off his mortgage to comply with his divorce decree. Now, a member of David's team of 15 professional and experienced loan officers, Cindy Piazza, helped him refinance his home, removed Tim's ex-wife from the mortgage and deed of his home, and reduced his payment $240 a month. Let's review. Tim removed his ex from his mortgage and deed and saved close to $3,000 a year. Unfortunately, according to divorcestatistics.com, more than 40% of marriages end in divorce. So if you're divorced and need to refinance, stop procrastinating, pick up the phone and call David now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David helped me and thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pro Mortgage and Eagle Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, 4358 NMLS 19186.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. When a culture celebrates, it begets. An internal FBI report obtained by Paul Bedard at the Washington Examiner finds the D.C. press corps Dem politician Combine's neutral to laudatory review of Black Lives Matter rioters makes us less safe by making police less safe. The FBI reviewed 50 murders of police officers in 2016 and found in 14 of the cases the offenders simply wanted to kill police. The assailants, inspired by social and or political reasons, believed that attacking police officers was their way to get justice. The former mayor of Baltimore created a safe space for rioters in the wake of Freddie Gray's death. That has left her successor crying to the FBI for help in combating Baltimore's 20-year high murder rate. Chicago Mayor Tiny Dancer scapegoated the police locally and brought Obama Attorney General Loretta Lynch to town to tell the nation they were all racist. After more murders in Chicago last year than in New York City and LA combined, Chicago saw a 45% increase in murders in April as compared to April of last year. When you treat police like the bad guys, you embolden the bad guys.
The performance, conduct, and sustainability of organizations are a direct result of leadership. A leader's impact can be profoundly good or bad. We've experienced the devastating impact of unethical, selfish, and corrupt leaders. We've also experienced the impact of good and caring leaders whose honesty, integrity, and ethical conduct have created great organizations and a legacy of goodwill. Our challenging times require courageous, values-driven leaders to step up to these challenges. My name is Rich Panico. I am the founder and CEO of Integrated Project Management Company, IPM. I am blessed to lead a wonderful family of talented and caring leaders. Join us as we strive to change the world, one project at a time.
Trust IPM, the consulting industry's leader at executing your critical initiatives. For almost 3 decades, IPM has planned and executed projects in the life sciences, healthcare, consumer, and industrial sectors with honesty and integrity. Visit IPMCinc.com. That's IPMCinc.com. Or call Integrated Project Management's Chicago office at 630-789-8600.
AM 560.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
My dog is so much cuter than your dog.
I'm already becoming kind of a dink, and I don't even have possession of my dog yet. Doing this, my dog is cuter than your dog, but my dog
It's so
is.
great. It's kind of a little girly of you. I kind of like it.
My
dog is
Rubian
Cuckoo. Hayek, right? Is his name would be Hayek? We'll go over that later. This is not a radio bit. Dan Proft is getting a dog, and I'm scared.
I'm not going to indulge those kind of attacks on my pooch.
Pukachuku?
All right, this is bad news for you. I know Mother's Day is your favorite holiday, but the good news is...
I've only said that 5,000 times.
The good news is the school your kids go to isn't in British Columbia, where Albert McMahon Elementary School is scrubbing planned Mother's Day activities. You know why. The designation is not inclusive enough.
Oh, now that they have crossed the line now.
Let me provide the rationale from the heads of the Albert McMahon Elementary School. The team. As Mother's Day and Father's Day approach, we have met as a primary grade 1 and 2 team. Oh, they met with the grade schoolers. Met with the first and second graders
to give them more power that they don't need.
We met as a primary team to discuss our core values. Mm-hmm. In an effort to celebrate diversity, inclusivity, and also nurture our students who are not part of traditional families, We have decided to encourage, even the use of traditional families, doesn't that offend? We have decided to encourage those celebrations to take place at home. Due to this, the children will not be making gifts at school to give on Mother's Day and Father's Day. We feel each family knows the best way to celebrate with their own family. Yeah. What about that? Isn't that great? Isn't that enlightening?
This is all because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Well, on Father's Day, you have a dad and a father. And on Mother's Day, you have a mom and a mother. I mean, some kids at our school have 2 mommies, and some kids at our school have 2 daddies.
Well, I would say that...
but even the same-sex couples, they want to be recognized, too. Everybody loves Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best holiday ever. I cannot stress that enough. And I want to know what you guys are planning for my big celebration.
We're taking you to Punta Cana.
Hey,
yeah. Congratulations. Yeah.
Wait, let me guess. You're going to buy me a drink.
It's all inclusive. This trip, we're taking you to, the whole team got together, and we're going to be in Punta Cana for Mother's Day for you. Isn't that nice?
Without my kids. It's the whole purpose of Mother's Day.
Speaking of inclusivity.
Yes, sir.
On this side of the border, a high school in Detroit gearing up to hold their annual all-girls prom aimed at upholding the customs of Muslim girls. This is to create a comfortable and safe environment for girls who cannot attend the traditional co-ed prom for cultural reasons. So boys are not allowed. This is at Hamtramck High School.
Oh, Hamtramck.
Yeah.
That's where Gran Torino is based out of.
Good
the movie.
Off of my lawn.
Off of my lawn. Hamtramck is a tiny town and it's surrounded by Detroit.
Yeah.
That and Highland Park, I remember. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so...
Yeah, so they have their own... Really?
Yeah. This is how we bring people together and learn to celebrate each other as human beings, is by having black-only commencements and Muslim-only proms and no Mother's Day.
If I convert, I can go to my 9th prom.
We bring it all together.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Did you know reading a food label is simple? The nutritional facts can be confusing and misleading, so just read the ingredients list. If the ingredient seems too long for that particular food, don't eat it. If you can't read it, don't eat it. If it contains ingredients you're not familiar with, don't eat it. If it looks like it came from a factory or a laboratory instead of a kitchen, stay away. Don't eat it. Choose foods made from whole grains, whole fruits and vegetables, and other real ingredients.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about Balance of Nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product. I mentioned, he says, am I taking any supplements? And I told him Balance of Nature. He said, if there's one to take, he says, you're taking the right one.
Normally, I'm sick every year with bronchitis or bronchial pneumonia. Seriously, 2, 3, 4 times a year. I have not had that at all this year.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
We are amazed at what it does. It is really a wonderful product.
AM 560, The Answer.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. We're back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now,
Punta Cana.
Yeah, we're so excited. Yay. Now, here's Mike Scott.
Chicago's FBI chief in the running for the interim director's position. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.